Hello, welcome. Good morning. It's still 2 minutes to 12. Just going to tip you down a little bit. Jojo's here. Hi, Jojo. Welcome. On time, early. Love it. So I am going to turn the volume down on my phone and get the chat up on my phone so that I can actually see it, because that's always good. So how is everybody? How is everybody's Sunday going? I am just about to sew the bias binding onto my Sew Over Eve dress, or attempt to. I haven't made one of these in a while, and I'm just trying to remember which way around I want to sew the binding on, because I've just put my ties on. Hi, Lottie. Welcome. How are you? And Alina's here. Hi. And Trusting UK, hello, welcome. So I'm going to sew that on there and turn it around and top stitch that down. And then if I sew this on here, turn it around. Yes, I want to sew it onto the wrong side first. And I thought I had some pale blue bias binding that I could use for this, but it turns out I don't have any more of that one. And then the white one I had was that much too short. So I'm going with navy, because there is some navy in this print and it's not sheer, so it shouldn't show through. So hopefully this is going to be a good idea. I mean, I have put it underneath, and I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. You can't really see it, can you? No. This fabric's opaque, so yeah, it'll be fine. Kathleen's here, and H.E. Stitch, and Maggie. Hello, good welcome. Good welcome? Words are hard. Welcome, everybody. How is everyone today? Marta's here. Hi. Good morning. Nimue here. Hey Peeps, popping in for maybe half an hour until lunch is done, and we'll be back afterwards. Good morning, Nimue. Well, good afternoon for you, isn't it? Because you're ahead of us time-wise. So I'm going to pin the start of this bias binding in. So I started sewing this at about 8 o'clock last night and finished at about 11. And today I had to put on the twill tape, which I've done, put the ties on, bind the front edge, hem it, and then we're done, which is going to be good. And then I think I'm going to start working on the Mopsy Fun Eve dress, but I've also got my denim skirt down here that I think I might unpick today as well, because that will give me the impetus to actually get around to making the new waistband for it, because I like wearing that skirt a lot. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Right, how are we doing with the chat? Karen says, good morning from Long Island, New York. It's 7 a.m. here and I'm watching you while having my morning coffee. Good morning. Enjoy your coffee. Lottie says, good, thank you. I have 3 NCWs to make, so just deciding whether I batch sew or make one to check I have enough, whether I batch sew or make one to check I've had enough sleep to follow your instructions properly before just diving in. I would batch sew, but that's me. It depends what color thread you need to use for them as well. If you're using like different fabrics for the insides and stuff, then I would sew everything with the thread that matches one of those, one of those sets of fabrics, and then that would be, just so I didn't have to change the thread on my machine very often. That would be how I would work that one out. Dammit Apparel says, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, welcome. And Lottie says the dress looks great. Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I may even put it on to finish the rest of the live stream. Definitely going to try it on. Fingers crossed it fits. I've worn a couple of Eve dresses and they're fine, so there's no reason that this one won't fit. Just good typical. Sandra says, hello, Sean and Peeps from France. Bonjour. Karen says, good morning, Sean. Hello from Texas. Wow, it must be really early in Texas. Good morning, Karen. So, yeah, how's everyone's week's been? Mine has been weird. I have my doctor's appointment my hospital appointment on Monday, and my surgeon got called away for an emergency, so he wasn't there. So the orthodontist was just like, you know, everything looks good, but I can't speak to where the pain's coming from. We need him there, so let's make another appointment. So that was fun. Then Chiana's been really sick and has been to the vets twice so far. She has a ton of medication. She's just not eating, which is so not like her. She has cystitis, so she's obviously uncomfortable. But yeah, so all of my spending money for the Festival of Quilts has paid for Gianna's pet pills. So yeah, she seems okay. She's just really like not herself. The vet even said, "Oh, she's such a lovely, well-behaved cat." It's like, "Are you sure you got the right cat?" Like, yeah. So it's been a bit of a weird week. And then, as you guys saw the other day when I put the video up, I made trousers that like just, yeah. So I've tweaked those trousers. I've tweaked the side seams on them. They were a little bit lumpy, and I've just evened that out, and they're much better now. And I did finish the waistcoat that goes with them, and I filmed myself in it. And then looking back at the footage, my bra is just cutting in underneath so much that there's just this giant ridge, and then kind of like puffiness for everywhere else. So it's like, I really liked that outfit, and then looking back, it was like, oh god, do I really look like that? So yeah, I need to either start making my own lingerie, invest in shapewear, get myself a long line bra, or just yeah, something. So I'm just gonna double check that I'm sewing on the right bit here. Yes, I am. So yeah, this week has been a bit weird and all over the place headspace wise, so thank you for bearing with me. Lottie says, good point about the thread. Yep, maybe one at a time, as I didn't remember that. Jess says, good evening from Sydney. Good evening, Jess. Caroline says, good afternoon, Sean and Peeps. Good afternoon, Caroline. Linda says, hi from Long Island, New York. I think that's right. Good morning. Nightmare Berg says, good afternoon from across the water, Sparshot, Hampshire. I can almost wave at you. I'm pointing in the wrong direction. I'm not on the south coast anymore, but I'm still not quite to the north coast. Lottie says, hope Chi is feeling better soon. And Nimue says, poor Chi. Caroline says, I'll be down in Portugal on Wednesday afternoon. Jojo says, get well soon, Chi. Love Peggy, Lister, and Indy, and me, obviously. Thank you very much. And Viv says, hello from exotic Coventry. Hello. So yeah, this week has been weird. I'm sure Chi is going to be fine. She's going to be totally fine. It's going to be fine. How many times can I say that? But no, she will be fine. She will be fine. She's not eating, and it's weirding me out. That cat is all about the food. So yeah. I need to remember to order some new bias binding as well. I need some light blue and navy because I finished that. I have ordered the white one. But yeah, I did actually make bias binding with this fabric, which I made 10 meters of it, but it's really narrow, which is what I wanted. But it's too narrow for the finish that I want to achieve with this dress. So, and I literally have no more fabric left because I used all of the scraps to cut the pockets for the trousers and then bias binding from the rest of the scraps. So I have nothing left. So I couldn't even make some bias binding that would fit. So yeah, navy's going to be fine. It's going to be totally fine. So would have liked I have in my head, I have the perfect blue, and I've just used it all and then not replaced it, which was dim, but never mind. Never mind. It's totally fine. And we are 9 minutes and 19 seconds in, and I'm starting to sew. No one's going to believe me. But I would really like to get this dress finished today, and I would like to try and maybe sort of like work on the other one, the Mopsy Fun one. So this is why we are starting to sew early. So I've pretty much decided that I'm not going to finish that turquoise dress. There's a lot of work that needs to be left to be done in it, and I could, yes, I can donate it, but it's a lot of work for a dress that is never going to get worn and is just going to get donated, which is maybe very selfish of me, but yeah, I just don't want to do it. I'm thinking I might put it on for the twirls as is, because it's not hemmed. But I'd like it to be featured in the twirls because I did make it, but technically I didn't finish it. I don't know. Not sure. I'm not sure what to do about it, but I have zero motivation to finish it because I just don't like it. So yeah. I'm not sure. Let's see. Amy, good morning from Omaha, Nebraska. Good morning. Sandra says, I hope China will get better. Thank you. I'm sure she will. She's not enjoying having to have the medication. Mum and I are both having to, like, I'm holding her and opening her mouth, and Mum's kind of like putting the medication in. Although I finished really late last night, and Mum had already gone to bed, so I tried to do it by myself, and she was having none of it. So I put the pill on the bed next to one of her favorite treat things, and she just ate the pill. I'm like, okay. She kept picking it up and spitting it out because clearly it didn't taste nice. But then at one point it was clearly close enough to the treat that the treat went in at the same time, and she was like, okay, fine, I'll just eat this thing. So yeah, that was like, I can't believe it. Kathy says, good morning from Pennsylvania, USA. Good morning. Elena says, we are having same problems with fitting. Oh, I feel for you. Nimue says, I had to get up at 6 a.m. 2 days this week. Not my time of the day, but I got lots of fan fiction writing done at work. So there's that. That's, yeah, 6 a.m. I'm with you. I'd much rather go to bed at that time. And awesome on the fan fiction writing. Tabitha says, could you please tell us where you buy your bias binding from? I get it from 2 places on eBay, and it's on my website, both of them in the frequently asked questions section. The link to both of them is in there. Karen says, sending extra prayers for your cat. Thank you. Christine says, hello, everyone. Hi, Christine. Nimue says, also, looks like rainbow fabric from the UK will arrive before swatches ordered within Germany on the same day. Not seller's fault. It's been at the DHL distribution centre since Tuesday. Oh, wow. Kathleen says, couldn't you salvage the skirt part of the dress and wear it? No. No, I don't like the skirt part of the dress. That's part of the problem, all the gathering in at the waist. I mean, you guys know how much I hate alterations and repairs and things like that. I'm just not going to do it. This is very pretty fabric, but it was very, very cheap polyester fabric. If this was silk or something like that, I would not be abandoning this dress. I would be trying to make this work. But it's not silk. It's a cheap polyester fabric that I like the print of, but don't like the actual fabric that much. And there's just there's no impetus to finish it because it's not, I don't like it. And I don't like any of it enough to pick it apart. I have some of the fabric left over. It's there. So I may or may not make something with the leftover pieces of the fabric. There's a good sort of like 2.5 meters there. But if this was more expensive fabric, I would persevere with it, but it's not, and it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. There's a lot of time that needs to go into that to finish it well, and I'll never wear it ever. And yes, that is selfish, but it won't go into a landfill. I'll either stuff a dog bed with it or something like that. So yeah. Otherwise it's just going to hang there for forever till I get around to being like, oh yeah, I'm going to finish it, but I'm never going to wear it. So like I said, there's just never going to be that kind of like, must get this done. Whereas this one, which is the 9296. I need to hem that, and I want to hem that because I want to wear that. It's definitely a date night dress. But so yeah, like, and these dresses here as well, they need hemming, but they will get finished because they fit and I will wear them and I like them. But this one, just don't like it, and it's just, I don't think it's worth salvaging any parts of it, because it's just none of it is that like precious a fabric kind of thing. I hope that makes sense. Jojo says, can you salvage fabric from the turquoise dress for other toiles? Again, the skirt panels are fairly big, but they are angled skirt panels. So yeah, but no, it's not going to happen. Azali says, hi from Istanbul in Turkey. Hope Shiana will be better soon. Thank you. Renske says, hello. Hi. Lottie says, you made it. Do the twirl. You can always have a section of the not worth it in yearly twirls video. I always find it just as interesting as to why something didn't work for you. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I do want to sort of like, it got to a point where it's finished enough that I'm like, yeah, I'm going to feature this one. Whereas the other polyester top and dress, I could have featured them, but the dress, there was so much work that needed to, and it just was awful. And then the top, I just stuffed it in a dog's bed. So, you know, I probably should have featured those ones, but the thing that was wrong with those was the fabric, definitely. So yeah, good point. Rizke says, hello from very rainy Germany. HU So says, I think you should include the turquoise dress. It's nice to see people acknowledge the fails as well as the finished. My own ratio is about 2 to 1. Yeah, I mean, like, I've featured the dress in the vlogs and stuff, but like you say, not everybody watches the vlogs, so it could be like you say, like a this did not work for me kind of thing. So I'm thinking maybe I have to bite the bullet and put myself out on the internet in those trousers, the denim trousers. I don't think I want to though, so I'm not sure about those. But yeah, that one, yeah, possibly, because I can always get mum to pin the cuffs shut on me, and it's only the hem that's obviously not finished. You guys won't see the inside of the dress, so you won't know how much of that is unfinished. So yeah. Ellen says, so sorry, Cheers, unwell. My cat had the same thing last year, sick, not eating and in pain, but she got better very quickly with medication. Yeah, I think she's going to perk up. She's just not herself. That's weird. But she is being very cuddly, which is so lovely. Karen's here. Hi, Peeps. Hi, Karen. How are you, my lovely? Sandra says, even if the dress is not finished, I think you add it to your twirls. Yeah, I think you guys are talking me into it. Caroline says to remember to like the stream, Peeps. Thank you. Marta says, I remember Angela Clayton making a video and project she never finished. I really enjoyed it and would not mind seeing that dress in your twirl video with comments on why you decided to pass on it. Yeah, you guys are talking me into it. It's gonna go. It's gonna go in there. Lynn says, finally got to join the Hangout live, but only because I'm in isolation and therefore can't go to work. Oh no, Lynn, I hope you're okay. Have you just been in contact with somebody that had it, or do you think you might have it yourself? I hope you're all right. Damrit Apparel says, unrelated, but could I ask the size of your cutting table that you built with your dad? It seems like the perfect size. It's 5 foot square and it's 100, it's a meter tall. That doesn't help, does it, at all? It's 100 and something, I can't remember how many inches tall it is, but it's 5 foot square top, and the base is 4'8" by 5 foot long. So the top overhangs a little bit on 2 edges and not very much on the other edges. Nimoy says you could put the dress in the trading post and see if a peep would like to salvage it one way or another, and definitely give it a twirl. You put all the effort in. I suppose I could do that. I just, again, it's like the same thing I said last week. I hate the idea of sending out stuff that I've made, especially stuff that I've not finished to my usual standards. So I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, you guys have talked me into putting it in for the twirls, definitely. Debbie says hello from Nottingham. Hi, Debbie. Patricia says good evening all from Sydney. Good evening. Lottie says pin the trousers on a dress form and do a flat lay if you want to include those. I'm certainly not advocating for doing a twirl in items that you feel uncomfortable wearing on the internet. I think it's just because I'm so annoyed with them. I had 2 muslins and they were too big. Leslie says good morning from Philadelphia. Good morning, Leslie. And HE HE So says, oh, Lynn, isolation sucks. Good luck. My partner was a prisoner in the spare room for 4 days, but I got the lurgy anyway. Currently resting up and hoping my voice comes back. Oh. Damn it, Apparel says, thank you. I'll convert to centimeters to get the size. I think it's like 152 centimeters. It's slightly over 150. But I wanted a 5 foot square top because the majority of the widest fabrics I get are 150, and I wanted to be able to lay a piece of fabric out that would be a full length dress piece. If I was making, I think I could just about probably get that out, and then the fabric would not be hanging over the edge in any way. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, right. 20 minutes in, so 11 minutes on, and I've sewn like a foot of bias binding on. I know I say this every time, but this would be why I'd be crap on the sewing bee. Nothing would get finished because, like, when they come around to talk to you, it would just never get anything done. So, not that I can apply for the sewing bee anyway. But yeah. Yeah, the last, so this set of things that have been cut out, there's been way more successful makes in it, but the previous set of things that were cut out, there weren't quite so many successes in there. And I think I need to get the balance slightly better, sort of like 50-50 for things I know I love and 50% things that I'm trying. But then I suppose the last cutting out session, the successful things were muslins. So they were, you know, whilst they were successful, they weren't like the most exciting thing. Make sure we get the seam allowance going in the right way. Okay. I haven't made an Eve dress since I think June or July last year. I think the last Eve dress I made was that kind of like geometric square one. The rayon or the viscose for the bottom of that dress has come in, and I'm kind of thinking I might do the Butterick 6013 bodice with the Vogue 9077 skirt. I ordered 4 meters of the red viscose, and I'm kind of wishing I'd got a little bit more so I could have definitely made a top out of it, because I was thinking I was going to do the 6380 skirt with that one, but then I've made a lot of those, so I kind of want to try something a bit different. The pressing on this bit of bias binding is not great. I hope this works. I really don't want to have to unpick this. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And I did run this because I only had a certain amount of this bias binding left, and I did run it around the perimeter to make sure that I had enough, and it fit. So I really hope that I did that correctly as well, because it's getting to the point where it's like, oh, it's going to be enough here. I think I might have some more navy in one of my drawers though, so I'll have to double check that. So the way that the pattern recommends that you finish this edge is to overlock it and just turn it under. And we all know that I'm not a fan of overlocking the insides of woven garments. And again, just a personal preference. That's just how I like to finish my clothes. So that's why I use bias binding on this edge. And I use twill tape to stabilize the neckline as well. So I don't skip that step. And I think that's one of the most important ones, because you you really don't want this neckline to stretch out, and you really want it to hug across the body, because that's one of the things with wrap dresses, that you really don't want that front edge to get gapy. I haven't worn this shirt dress for a while either. It's the Vogue 9345 that I did January last year, I think it was, and I did the sew along with this particular print. I love this shirt dress so much. This is the maxi one with this without sleeves, and I definitely need to make another maxi dress because just I'm really enjoying wearing this. Although I do have my skirt all piled up on my lap so that I don't run over it with the wheels of my chair, because that has happened before. How are we doing with the chair? Oh, the phone's gone off. That's not good. Right, where did I get to with the thing? Yes, I read that one. Terry says hello from everyone from Tasmania in Australia. Good evening. Catherine says good afternoon. Watching from Lithgow while taping up a pattern and being bemused by how big it is a boyfriend type shirt. Oh wow. Let us know how you get on with that. Damn It Apparel says, thanks, that helps a lot. I think it could be a good project for my partner during our level 4 lockdown, especially since my birthday is coming up this month. I love this thing. I love this thing. The only thing you need to watch is the height of it. In the video where Dad's building it, I do link to the brackets that he used, and I do think you can get them worldwide. The height of it's perfect for me. It works for Mum. I think it could be a little bit lower to be perfect for Mum. But yeah, the height, like I say, it's a meter tall, and kitchen work surfaces are 93 centimeters tall, and that was kind of what I was aiming for. But it ended up getting a little bit bigger because of spacing of and sizes of timbers and stuff. So just check the height that works for you best and adjust accordingly. Debbie says, if you do not end up making the new Gertie dress at some point this year, I will be amazed. I know, it's gorgeous, isn't it? Jojo says, I'm making my first Eve dress this week. Been meaning to do it for ages, but need to muster up enthusiasm for tracing the pattern. Good luck with that. And I just love mine, so I think you'll love yours too. Linda says, hello from Canvey Island. Sorry to arrive a bit late. That's totally fine. Sandra says, I have 2 Eve dresses I cut but still haven't sewn them. Every viscose I see, I can't help imagining it in an Eve dress. Yes, that seems to be the same thing that I do as well. Caroline says, Debbie, I agree. I think it's the most perfect Shan dress. I'm thinking of a winter version with longer sleeves too. Great for the office. Yeah, it says for those of you that haven't seen it, it's a shirt dress and it is gorgeous. Lottie said, I'm so excited about Gertie's shirt dress, but may make it a pleated gathered skirt, as those are my favourite. Yeah, I think I probably would make that amendment as well. And Dominique says, good morning, everyone from Miami. Good morning. And Christine says, hi from an overcast Bolton, Lancashire, which is okay as we have an Ironman competition happening here today. Oh, yes, nice, cool weather for all the people doing all of the exercise. But hello. So let's see how long this has taken me to sew this round. Okay, just making sure my tie is lying nice and flatly under there, which it is. Yeah, I have that thing where I see every cotton lawn I see is an 8577, and then every viscose I see is an Eve dress. And I mean, that would be really, really easy to do. But, and you know what, I probably would be very happy with that because I do enjoy wearing those things. And you know, the 9345 shirt dress, this one, the 6891, the McCall's one that I just did, I like that as well. So you know, my shirt dress fabrics are, or you know, the shirt dresses are getting expanded, but I love the Eve dress because I can get it out of 3 meters of fabric most times, even the narrow ones, and I just really enjoy wearing it. I would like to try the straighter sleeve that they do with the Eve, but I know I'm going to have to do a full bicep adjustment for that, and I think I might get frustrated with it being a little bit more restrictive because I'm so used to the Eves that I've made having the flutter sleeves. I've done one with a bishop sleeve on it, which I really like, and I always make them with the high-low hem. So I'm thinking I might try a leveled out hem. But then I do have a lot of wrap dress patterns in my stash. I have a whole section for them, and it's quite a large section. I might get that out in a minute so we can have a look through. And you guys can let me know if you've made any of the other ones. I definitely had enough bias binding. That was great. I measured correctly. That's my excess. So yeah, I'd be interested to see if you guys rate any of the other wrap dress patterns I have in my stash. Because I could very easily just make this over and over again. And you know what? I mean, again, I've said this before, I've said this many times, but that's how I ended up with like 30 Anna bodices on different types of skirts and trousers, because I love that bodice so much. And I'm really excited about retracing it so that I can remake it in the current size I am now. Right, I'm going to grab my wrap dress patterns. And these are only the woven ones. I have a separate section for knit wrap dress patterns, but I'm not going to get those out because I don't even really think of wrap dress patterns. Sorry, that took a long time to get to the end of that sentence, didn't it? I don't make many kind of knit dresses, really. Not at this time of year, anyway. Drink. So, scratchy throat. Right, so where do we get to with the chat? Dominique says, good morning, everyone from Miami. Good morning. Christine says, hi from an overcast. Oh, I've read that one. Sorry. Did I miss Dominique out before? Sorry. Sandra says, speaking of maxi dress, have you seen the Ross Clare wrap dress pattern? I love the tiered skirt, and I'm thinking about matching the tiered skirt with the Eve dress bodice. I have seen that. It's cashmerette, right? I was really tempted by that one, but I have this giant pile here. So I was there's so many patterns. Something Delightful currently have a sale on everything for, it's 4th of July, isn't it? So happy 4th of July and happy Independence Day. And so there is, Something Delightful are having an Independence Day sale, and I could easily get to the $70 free shipping worldwide level, but I'm trying to be better. I have so much stuff. I will at some point buy those patterns. I think what I need to do is have a clean out and then kind of sort through in a de-stash, and then I can buy new patterns. And also, obviously, just spent a lot of money on Shiana's vet bills, which is totally fine. Not complaining at all about that. But I've got this Festival of Quilts coming up at the end of this month as well, so I want to have some money for that. So Yeah, Rachel's being terrible at the moment. She keeps emailing me with pretty fabrics that she's found, and I'm just like, yeah, I need them all. I'm not buying fabric at the moment. Stop it. Christine says, I've just retraced the Eve after your vlog on it popped up. My first was too big, so it felt lumpy in it. So I bought some cheap viscose at Abercan to try again. Yeah, I think if you watch my Sew Over Eve dress pattern review video, I went by the, hang on. So according to my measurements, I should be doing a size 14 for the bust, size 10 for the waist, and then a size 18 for the hips. And I do a straight size 10 for the bodice, and then it's a 10 at the waist out to a 14 at the 14 at the hips. And technically the size 10 bodice should fit a 36-inch bust, and I have a 39-inch bust. So they've clearly put more wearing ease in the dress than I'm comfortable with. But I made the first one I made was the size 14 and it was too big. Then I went to a size 12. It was still too big. I still have that one though. And then I went down to a size 10 at the bodice, and I'm much happier with the fit of the Eve now. But I think that's one of those things, is you kind of have to work out what wearing ease you like on yourself as to what the company thinks that you should have. Elena says, sort of unrelated, how warm did your rainbow coat turn out to be? Will it manage minus 30 degrees centigrade? Planning to make the McCaw's 6800 Model D at some point. I'm searching for methods to make it very warm. I only wore my rainbow coat twice this year because it was so warm, and the 2 times that I wore it out, I overheated in it. And the outer fabric was polyester. I lined it with cotton flannel, and then the lining was a cotton silk blend. Depending on these, so you told me the coat. I know the coat that you want to make. You can get something called Thinsulate, which is amazing at keeping you warm. If you do get that stuff to put it in, you might want to quilt it to the lining fabric, and you may need to make a size bigger, because whilst it's not thick, it's denser. You might want to just go up a size when you make it. But Thinsulate is amazing, and my coat that I've got Thinsulate in is very, very warm as well. But yeah, my rainbow coat I only wore twice because it was just too hot. And then we moved house, and when it was cold enough for me to wear it out, I didn't have any other clothes other than jogging bottoms to wear with it, so it would have looked really weird. In fact, it was packed away. So yeah, it was a very warm coat. This is in the UK though, so I was wearing it in like 1 to 2 degrees, and I overheated in it in that temperature. Nimue says, well, I cut 2 pockets. I'll have to iron my jersey after lunch. It has lived tight rolled up in my jersey box for too long. Oh, good luck with that. Christine says, the other Eve sleeve is ridiculously tight, and I'm normally okay with sew over it sleeves. I have heard that. I've heard that all sew over it sleeves were quite tight. So it's interesting that the Eve was particularly bad for you. Ashley says, do you put faced pattern pieces in the same folder? Oops, I make trace pattern pieces. Yes, the system I use is these Elba file folders I get them from Amazon. I can usually get 50 for £35. I once managed to get 50 for 15 quid. It then went up in price to £75, and I wish I'd bought 2 of that set. So they kind of, as you can see, they do expand. I put a photo of the pattern on the top, and this is where the trace pattern lives. This one also has the paper pattern in it because it came in a plastic sleeve. This one, the pattern goes into the pattern stash, and then this gets put into a bookcase. That was, I had things to demonstrate the thing that was being asked about right in front of me. That's good. Rachel Lynn says, good morning. Good morning. Nimue says, see you later. See you later, Nimue. Christine says, I have 2 Eve dresses and 2 Eve tops. All have flutter sleeves. Nice. I haven't made an Eve top yet. Did you put a little peplum on the bottom? Lorraine says, hello from Jersey Channel Islands. Hi, good afternoon. Dermot Apparel says, I'll let him keep an eye on the height, especially being only 1.6 tall. A meter will probably be too high for me to be cut comfortably. Thank you for your advice. Yeah, have a look at my recommendation is your kitchen cabinets, your kitchen counter. See how high that is for you, and if you can lean over it, and because that usually is a pretty good height. But if that's too tall for you, then work it out from there. What would be a great height for you? Debbie says, could you put all the pattern numbers you're trying to decide on in a hat? Maybe leaving it to some randomness can be fun. Ooh, possibly. I'm thinking one of these is going to be a sew along for next month on the Peeps group, on up for a vote this month on Patreon for next month's sew along. Let's see. Karen says, to be perfectly honest, I'm a brand new sewer and would love to try sewing a summer dress. What would be a good first garment dress pattern to try? Thanks in advance. Okay. I would say one of the indie patterns that has a lot of hand holding to go along with it. There's with the big four are great, but the language that they use for their instructions is a language that needs to be learned. It's not difficult. I mean, I taught myself this. I'm completely self-taught, so if I can do it, anyone can do it. But I would say go for one of the indie patterns because their instructions tend to be written to handhold you every single step of the way, and there are usually videos or blog posts to go along with it to help you for any slightly trickier bits. I would also say go for a very simple bodice and a simple skirt, so like a fuller skirt, so that it's easier to fit, because pencil skirts are slightly more difficult to fit because they have to fit in a couple of areas, whereas fuller skirts only really need to fit at your waist and then skim over your hips. What do you guys, Peeps, Hive Mind, what would you recommend as a good first dress pattern to try for Karen? Kathy says, good morning. Between being on call for 3 hospitals and all the fireworks making dogs jumpy, I've been awake most of the night. Oh gosh, wow, that's not good, Kathy. I hope you managed to get some rest and don't get called in to work. Linda says, hi everyone. Sean, have you or anyone else tried the Butterick 6055 dress yet? I have the pattern and the pockets are so cute. I think it has a circle skirt too. It's a vintage reproduction. Let me have a look. What was it? 6055. Let's see. Butterick. The number doesn't ring bells, so I don't think I've made it. 6055. Oh, I do have it, but no, I haven't made it. The pockets do look very cute. They also look like Muppets. The kind of ghost Muppets. But no, I haven't tried it, but I do own the pattern. So Lily Bells is here. Hello, everyone. Hi. Hi, Lee. How are you? Elena says, thank you. Ashley says, my pattern stash looks so messy because I roll them. Thanks for the info. I was looking for a more sustainable storage solution. Let me just twist you around. I'm going to move. I've got the camera up here as well. Let me just twist you around. So there you go. That's all the traced patterns there. And then this is the printed patterns here. So it's neater. I need to rejig it a little bit because it's gotten a little bit out of control. And I think I told you guys my plan is that when these cubby holes get empty, like look, that one's nearly empty back there, I'm going to start moving over the patterns into these because I'm running out of room for my traced patterns. So yeah, I need to slow down the fabric buying, slow down the pattern buying, and step up production. Sandra says, made several versions of Vogue 8379, a knit wrap dress. I recommend this pattern. Cool. Vogue 8379. Oh, sorry, you guys didn't get to see the 6055, did you? That wasn't helpful. Let me show you that one. So that's the Butterick 6055. Very cute. And the pockets do look like Muppet faces. As I said, I do have this one. And then the other one was the, where is it? Vogue 8379. So let's have a look at that. Vogue 8379. Vogue 8379. Oh, that's nice too. I don't have that one. I like the little collar on it. I do have a butterick pattern that I'm going to show you in a second that's very similar to that. In fact, this is a woven one. It's the 5030. I really want to make this. I think I'm really going to like this. So, but yeah, let's have a quick squiz through these. So obviously the Sew Over Eve dress. This is my latest one, the Florian wrap from Now and Then Patterns. I really like this. I need to obviously do all the fitting work on it. So I haven't made it up as yet, but it will be being made next month. Then we've got Simplicity 8137, which has lots of options, which I like a lot. Like that a lot. Then we've got Simplicity 1880, which I think is a faux wrap. Yes, it has a zip in the side. So I really do like the kind of like idea of the wrap dress, this one here, but the rest of them look like they have button-up fronts, which I think I'm going to prefer, because as I mentioned with having sewn this one, I kind of don't like faux wrap dresses because I hate how they have to get finished on the inside. I'm not a fan. Next we've got thread count stylish dresses. Yeah, it's a very basic bodice. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get to make this one because it's kind of like a more basic version of the Eve, and I like the Eve so much. So yeah. Butterick 6554. I have made 3 of these. I love this pattern. I do it with all the ruffles. Really, really like this one. 5030, which I said I want to make. Then we've got McCall 7801. I love this. I love this a lot. I really, really, I don't think I would do the high-low hem with the Revere collar on it. I think I would do like the straight hem for the Revere collar, but I really, really like this one. Lots of ruffles. Then we've got 7892, which I have made and I really like. I haven't worn that dress out as yet because I was going to wear it for my birthday dinner with Wilson last year, and then stuff happened, so we didn't get to do that, which was sad, but never mind. And in my head, it's like my going out evening dinner dress, and haven't done that in a while. So yes. Then we've got 7998, which is a Laura Ashley pattern. Really want to make this one. I want to make it in black viscose. I don't know why. I kind of think it would be a really cool little black dress to have. McCall's 7745. I absolutely love View B, which is the one that she's wearing. Really want to make that. Like all the ruffles on that again. Bit of a ruffle addict. Then we've got McCall's 7119. Which again I really like. It's got a slightly strange kind of neckline, so if I did any of the ones without sleeves, I would have to try and work out a bra solution for it, but I do like the ones with sleeves. We've got McCall's 7081, which again I think is a faux wrap dress. Yeah, it's got a side zip in it. So whilst I love this, there are many, many elements of this that I don't like the faux wrap front and a side zip. It's like my nightmare dress. So I'm not sure if that one's ever going to get made, but I really like it. Then we've got McCall's 8036, which can either be a wrap or a button up. And again, lots of ruffles, like the sleeves. I think that's really pretty. McCall's 8088, much slimmer silhouette for me, but again, View C, which she's wearing there, I think that might suit me. And the final one is a very old Vogue 7748, which is a very old pattern. I've had this for a long time. It only goes up to a size 10, so I don't think it will fit me. But yeah. I think I need to try some of those dress patterns, because it would be so easy for me to just keep making eaves. And I do need to try some different things. Right? I mean, I know I do. So let's get back to the chat. Oh, come on. Let's see. Jojo says, yes, all the sew over Eve sleeves I've tried have been stupidly tight on my arms. I've had to add at least 2 inches to be comfortable on me. I've heard that. And I haven't really made very many sew over it patterns. I have a lot of them, but I haven't made very many of them. So yeah, need to rectify that, because I do own a lot of sew over it patterns. Christine says, yes, I followed the sew over it tutorial. The peplum is about 12 inches deep. For the sew over it Eve dress top, peplum top. Jojo says to Karen Sharp, try the Tilly and the Buttons Seren dress. This is recommendations for a beginner pattern. Tabitha says to Karen, I recommend you try the Tilly and the Buttons indigo dress. Tilly and the Buttons is a good one because she does write amazing instructions for beginners. They are very thorough and complete, which is great. There's no assumed knowledge. Dammit Apparel says, for a knit dress, I'd recommend the gala gown for patterns for pirates. The instructions hold your hand really well with photos for each step, and they also have a YouTube channel with tutorials. That's good knowledge. Johanna says, happy 4th of July for fellow Americans. Hi, good morning, happy 4th of July. Dammit Apparel says, the above was meant for Karen, forgot to add. Yeah, got that. I'm not sure I'd recommend a knit to start off with, but then Dizzy Knits and Curls only works with knits, and it depends. It depends, really, doesn't it? I would go for a stable fabric like a cotton for the first time making a dress. Just something that's going to behave. So no viscose, no silk, no chiffon. Again, ask me how I know. I had one of my forays into starting to sew again. I went and bought ridiculous fabrics, beautiful silks, and then just messed them up horribly, and didn't pick up a sewing machine again for years. So nice stable fabric that's going to behave itself well. Maria says, good morning from Long Island, New York. Good morning. Oh gosh, I'm going to say this name. Zolisli. Good afternoon from South Africa. Hope I'm not too late. Not at all, and I apologize about my mispronunciation of your name. If you could tell us how you say it phonetically, that would be amazing. Linda says, lol, love the Muppet face comparison, and I know exactly what Muppets you're referring to. Now I have to make it for sure. Definitely, it's the Muppet dress, isn't it? Michelle says, good morning from Wisconsin. Thanks for getting me through my workout. Simplicity patterns are 99 cents this weekend at Joann's. So I hear. And I'm doing the 8445 shirt as a sew along this month, which is a simplicity pattern and was also featured on the Great British Sewing Bee. So all you American peeps, if you want to sew along, that's the one. Vox is here. Hello, everybody. Hi. Karen says to other Karen, the Peppermint magazine wide strap maxi dress for wovens, laundry day tea dress from Love Notions for knits. Both are free and beginner friendly. Good knowledge. And Karen says, good morning, and good morning, everyone. Good morning, Karen. Catherine says, the Stylark Lauren shirt with the yoke comes out at 22 inches across in a size 16, which I know fits me in Stylark sizes normally. 22 inches across where? But that, yeah, seems okay. Catherine says, might go in the pile, not get cut out. Oh, right, that's the shirt. So it's 20. Oh, okay. Jojo, you're terrible. She says, Muppet faces, you say. Mana mana. I'm gonna have that in my head now. You're a terrible person. Dammit Apparel says hi to Xlogs. I'm so sorry. From Cape Town. And Christine says, the new sew over at Martha is mock wrap top and fully lined and bagged out, and there is a zip in the back. Nice. Simpson family, hi everyone, glad to catch the live. Hi Sean, hello, welcome. Right, okay. Zox Silly. Oh, I'm so sorry. She says, pleasure to meet you here. Damn it. I'm so sorry. Sarah says, have you tried the LED wrap dress, Sean? I've just made 3. It has a lovely bodice. That's from Closet Core Patterns, isn't it? I haven't, because as I've just shown you, I do have many wrap dress patterns, so I'm trying to behave. Linda says, oh, just noticed that Butterick has all of their retro reproductions on sale for $3.99. And the entirety of Something Delightful, the Vogue, McCall's, Butterick, and Quick Sew are all on sale at the moment, all at the same time. They very rarely do that. So, yes, pattern sales galore. Damn It Apparel says, hope you're not in Guangdong with strict lockdown rules and keeping safe. Catherine says, cotton jersey is actually very beginner friendly, doesn't fray, so you can be lazy and not finish the seams. This is true. This is true. I steered away from knit fabrics for nearly sort of 5 years this time round because I was scared of them, and there is no reason to be at all. So yes. Ashley says, my first dress was scuba. It was easier to sew than something like viscose or cotton knits. Scuba is very forgiving. That's a very good point. Very forgiving. Cecilia says, good morning, people. I'm so... Oh! So... Okay, I'm going to really struggle with this. Zloxy says, I'm in Pretoria, deep in the hotspot, so sewing is keeping me sane. Thank you. I hope you and your family are also keeping safe. Catherine says, oh, the shoulders are 22-inch across. Oh, okay. Damn It Apparel says, I mostly sew knits because I prefer using my overlock and cover seams, so I don't have many recommendations for wovens, which is why I recommended the gala. My apologies. No, don't apologize at all. Like this, see, this is the thing. Like I know some people have started sewing with knits before they got into wovens, and they find that so much easier. And for me, it was the other way around. But that's just my kind of take on it. Is because I was so scared of knits, I didn't approach them for 5 years. So for me, a cotton woven dress would be the place to start, but for somebody else it might be a cotton jersey to start, or a scuba is very forgiving. So yeah. And the name that I am mangling says, don't worry, Sean, pronunciation of my name has a click and requires a lifetime to practice. No offense taken at all. I am so sorry that I'm not going to get it right, but I really want to. But thank you very much for letting me know. Damn It Apparel says, I've been using lockdown as an excuse to stay home, and so I'm not a very peoply person, luckily. Good luck with the hotspot there. Enjoy the sewing time. Linda says, oh, I hadn't looked that far. Now I need to look at that too, even though I already have 3 giant bins full of patterns already. Sorry. And Sal says, good day, Peeps. I'm glad that you like those dresses I shared on the Peeps group. By the way, the actress kept some and still has them. That's very cool. And yeah, they were very nice, Sal. Thank you for sharing. Right. Okay. Let's get this bias binding done. It's been an hour. I'm usually so fast. It's usually because I'm not running my mouth as I'm sewing, though, clearly. Okay, this is why I want a number 10 foot as well, because I wouldn't need to shove all of this under the throat space. Although I do have room under my throat space, so it's fine. Okay, let's get this bias binding sewn. Get the foot pedal in the right place. I'm really glad that I kind of plucked up the courage to cut into this fabric, because in my, like I think I told you guys in the fabric haul, this is one of the ones that I think it was one of the first rayons that I spent a decent amount of money on. And I mean, it's a cotton and steel fabric rifle paper company. It was less expensive buying it from fabric.com and having it shipped over than it was buying it from anywhere in the UK. But it's one of those ones where it's just like, I'm scared of working with this, because at the time I was mainly sewing dresses with quilting cottons and things, and then the drapier fabrics that I was using were £4 per meter rayons from like Indian Royal Treasures or the Textile Centre, and then this one I think was something like £14 a meter, so it's not as expensive as Lady McElroy rayon is, but at the time I was still just getting my head around using drapier and fabrics that didn't behave themselves as well as cotton. So this was one of those fabrics where it was just like, oh, I don't want to mess this up. I do really like it. And past me bought 5 yards of it, so I had like 4.5 meters, which I'm really glad about because it was really narrow. If I'd only bought 3 yards of this, I don't think I'd have got the Eve dress out of it because it is very, very narrow. But I bought 5 yards, which is great. So I'm going to get a top out of it as well. If I'd have bought 6 yards, I could have got the 6.5, 6.3 McCall's woven t-shirt out of it, but I didn't, so never mind. Stray fabric tie trying to get away from me there. Let's make it behave itself. So up to the bodice front now, and I have got like the front edge. I needed to ease it onto the twill tape, and I think the twill tape is what gives it the nice close fit around the neckline. Without it, it would just gape and stretch out and bag, even if you stay stitched it. I think the twill tape is a really important step in the Eve and definitely not to be skipped. And I made a note on this because there's a little guide in the pattern that says how long each part of the tape needs to be. So it tells you how long the front edge to the yoke needs to be, then how long the yoke is, how long the back neck to the center seam, back neck to other yoke, and then center front bodice piece. And I've added 1 inch of length to this. So when I made my Cobra Corsage one, I'd completely forgotten that I'd added 1 inch of length, so I didn't add 1 inch of length to the twill tape. So I have really eased that in by an extra inch. So that front body, and I'm not going to take it all out and redo it, but that bodice does sit a little higher on me, but I get away with it because it's a wrap dress. But yeah, if you add length to the bodice, you need to add it to every single part of the bodice pattern. And I have now made a note in the booklet just reminding myself that I need to actually cut it at this length, not this length. I mean, I was very impressed with myself. I eased that one in with no puckers or anything, which was great. Proper concentration face going on again here. just want to make sure that I'm not getting any puckers in around the neckline, because that is a curved seam. So it's not too bad with this pass, but the next pass I really have to be careful when I've turned it all under that I'm definitely not getting any puckers when I sew it in, which is fine. You just kind of like manipulate the fabric. Take it slow. Okay. The other side of bodice front. And again, just make sure that my ties are not getting caught under anything, because that would be bad. The coral fabric I ordered when I ordered my 10 meters of the white viscose, that's arrived as well, and actually does match the coral in this print really well. But I do think I'm actually going to use the royal blue viscose I have for the other side of the hunter tank. I think blue on blue is going to be more the sort of thing that I would like. This seam is not taking me a million years to sew, because I'm not stopping to talk halfway through, you know, like, or a quarter of the way around. I'm gonna get this one finished, and then I'll catch up with the chat again. Then I'll go and press it, and then I'll sew it on the inside. Then I need to hem it, and then my dress will be done. Which I did think was just going to take me an hour, and we're an hour and 7 minutes into the stream so far. Yeah. I do like talking to you guys on a Sunday, though. It is nice. Although I had a nightmare. I woke up this morning and I thought I was late, and I was just like, oh my god. So I started like panicking, and it was 7:30 in the morning. Like, I'm not late. But then I went back to sleep, and then continued to dream that I was late. And then I couldn't get dressed. Like, I couldn't find anything that fit. And then just everything was going wrong. And it was like 12:30, and I still hadn't started. And I was just like, oh, this is not going to work. Okay. Bias binding is done. Now, like I say, I need to go and press it underneath, and then I'll be able to top stitch it down. Hemming. Mustn't forget the buttonhole, because I use a buttonhole. I French seam the inside of my Eve dresses completely, and then use a buttonhole to get the wrap through, which is not what the pattern has you do. But I did my first one the way the pattern wanted, and I used rayon seam binding on the inside, and that stuff is a nightmare to work with. Laura May, if from Lavender, I want to say Lavender and Twine, but that's Erica Lee's company. It's not. Lilacs and Lace, that's it. Her blog. Laura May is a seam binding queen. She is so good. and she uses it on everything, even if it's, I think even if it's going to be lined, she does it. It's like amazing. And that's where my love of, or my desire to have all the Hug Snug came from. And two very lovely peeps sent me rolls of it. I have it in grey and red, and it's a pain in the ass to work with. It's not as easy as bias binding. So I did it for one dress and was just like, oh, I hate this. So I now French seam the inside of my Eve dresses and put a buttonhole in, and it's worked for, like, I think you've seen, I've got 9 of them now, 10, 11, and I've never had a problem with that at all. So yeah, that's just how I like to do that one. Let's see. Oh, I've missed a lot of chat. Let's see. Okay. Cecile is here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Cecile. Christine says, we just had lightning. The Tilly Coco super simple stretch pattern to start with and got me over the fear. That's a very good point. Cecile says, a bright overcast day here in Canada in between rainstorms. Very nice. Feeling Crafty says, hi from Cork in Ireland. That's where my papa's family is from, or his father's side of the family. Sandra says, this is a dilemma. Sewing again and again the same pattern that you know will fit, or trying new patterns but knowing that you'll have to fit them. Most of the times I choose the first option. Yes. And I've been very guilty of that. So, and there's nothing wrong with it. Not guilty is the wrong word. There's nothing wrong with it at all, because time is precious, and like sewing time is precious, and these sorts of things do take a lot of time to do. And perfecting the fit on something, once you've done that, if you love it, then make all of them, definitely. Michelle says, sorry, you may have already said this already. Is that purchase bias binding? If so, what brand, kind? Yes, it is purchase bias binding, and I have a frequently asked questions section on my website, and the links to the places that I buy bias binding is on there. Feeling Crafty says, I love trying new patterns. Having said that, I do usually repeat them a few times to get the most out of my money. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing as well. Some of these indie patterns are expensive. So, I want to make more than, and if you find something that you love and it fits you well and you enjoy making it, then that's another, like, I want to make all of them. Catherine says, people who've bought it, how good is the Lady McElroy rayon? I covet their designs, but went slightly at the prices. Okay, so this is Cotton and Steel Rifle Paper Company rayon, which is expensive. And the Lady McElroy one is slightly lighter weight, ever so slightly lighter weight, but I personally really, really like it. I am not sponsored by Lady McElroy before anyone asks. There have been a few of their fabrics that I have received that I haven't enjoyed as much. They were some of the denim or twill jean type fabrics, which are over there and will be wearable toile muslin, wearable muslin fodder. But I really like Lady McElroy fabrics, and I really like their rayons. Viscoses, yes, they're expensive, but then they're not as expensive as Atelier Jupe or Art Gallery or Atelier Brunette. They're not as expensive as those rayons, and I've never tried any of those rayons, so I can't say how they compare in price to that. But this is a Cotton and Steel Rifle Paper Company rayon, and I would say that the viscose challis, this is just I think this was a viscose challis, and this is slightly heavier than the Loretta Lawn from Lady McElroy, but their other rayon is, again, there's a couple of different types of rayon from Lady McElroy. The Loretta Lawn has some spandex in it, which is really nice, and then the viscose challis is a really, really fine one. I would say order a sample. You can. Most companies will send you samples, so order a sample and see what you think about it, because if it's a splurge, you want to make sure that you really love the thing that you're splurging on. So I would say just contact the seller and say, please, may I have a sample of this print in this space, to see what you think of it. Dammit Apparel says, I was trying to think of a way to explain the pronunciation for, I don't know what to call you if I can't call you your correct name well, but the lady, the other South African lady, but the click is something unexplainable when you don't speak the African language. Yeah, it's a yeah, I know the sound that it makes, but I don't know where it's meant to be, and I would be terrible at it. And like you say, it takes a lifetime to learn that type of speech. So yeah, I would really struggle with that. But thank you so much for understanding. Alex is here. Hi, Sean and Peeps. Hi, Alex. Sandra says to Sarah, I made my first LED wrap dress last week and I love it. Feeling Crafty says Zezek to Alex. Is that Polish? Jojo says hi to Alex. And Alex says the same back to Feeling Crafty. Christine says Lady McElroy rayon is very good, just too expensive for my everyday sewing projects. Alex says hi to Jojo. Again, South African lady, is that acceptable? I'm sorry, I don't want to keep butchering your name. Says to damn it, thanks. I'm also an indoors person, so lockdown, as unfortunate as it is, has given me more time to sew. That's good. I like that we were seeing the bright side and things. Vox says to Sandra, even if it's the same pattern, it can look so different. Long, short, changing sleeves, different fabrics, always a new dress. Nice. This is true. And I mean, this is one of the things I've done with the Eve is add on a different sleeve to it. And it is a very different style of dress. And as I said, I want to sort of level out the hem and see how I like that one on me as well. So I think certain patterns as well, once you've perfected them, if there are different sleeve options and you know, different, you can then put them in different fabrics and things like different bases, not just different prints, then you can get very different dresses from the same pattern. South African lady, again, that's just the okay, I'm gonna keep saying South African lady until you tell me to something otherwise, if that's okay. Says to damn it. Oh, hang on, no, hang on, have I missed a bit? It says to damn it, Apparel. Yes, it's very difficult to explain the click pronunciation via text, so it really wouldn't be unfair of me to expect people to get it right. I allow people to call me X until they learn. Oh, okay, X, is that okay? Awesome. Thank you. Susan says, hello everyone from Adelaide, South Australia. I love Lady McElroy rayons too. Also love the cotton lawn fabric. Just bought the dragonfly one. Ooh, which colorway did you get? The pink, the white, or the black? I have the white and black. Really wanted the pink, but I don't really wear pink very often. Sorry, excited. I mean, I've also read reviews from people who don't like the Lady McElroy cotton lawn and they can't understand why people rave about it, and it's not the same as Liberty cotton lawn. Liberty cotton lawn feels like silk, and then the Lady McElroy cotton lawn in comparison is really rough. It's also £10 a meter cheaper. I really love I love Liberty cotton lawn. I think it's beautiful. I have a very little bit of it left in here somewhere. Where is my Lady? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. You know, I do have some. I don't think there is a slight difference. It is slightly finer, but I really love Lady McElroy as well. And again, I'm not sponsored. I spend my own money on them, and I do really, really enjoy their prints and their fabrics. So again, if it's an investment, get swatches, because you want to make sure that you love the thing that you are spending a lot of money on. So Caitlin says, hello everyone from Northern Germany. Finally managed to catch you live. Hello, welcome. Damn it, Apparel says to X, a lot of my friends prefer using the English meaning of their names because the pronunciation problems with the clicks is even some without clicks do it. Sorry, I'm massively garbling every message today, apparently. X says, I got here late. What fabric is Sean using? It seems like a light fabric, and light fabrics terrify me. Yeah, it's a Rifle Paper Company rayon. I would say this is lighter than heavier than a challis, but lighter than a crepe. So yeah. And again, it's just one of those things that after a while you will kind of just keep trying with them, but try with them. The way I did it, I tried with way more inexpensive rayons first, and then built up to the courage to start using the more expensive ones. One Lisa Show says, hello everyone, I've never made an Eve dress. Looks pretty. It is very pretty. I like it. Michelle says, awesome, thank you. Cecile says, to the comment about the sewing pattern, one pattern over and over again. Once you tweak a pattern to fit your personal measurements, it's so much easier to bust one pattern to bust out many patterns versus starting over with another one. Yeah, and I mean this is a dress that I get my sojo back with as well. If I've lost my sojo, then sewing an Eve for me now is one of those things that I find really easy to do because I've perfected the fit and I know how it goes together, and I can cut out and sew one in a day if I'm not waffling this much. And I'd said the other day in one of the vlogs that Mum's lost her sojo, and I'd recommended she sew one of her 8577s as a, you know, to get her sojo back. And Flower from Perth commented and just said, "Ooh, I wouldn't recommend that one for getting your sojo back. That would, you know, no." But again, Mum has perfected the fit, knows that she wears it, has lots of them, enjoys wearing them, and I think that for me, if you're new to sewing and you don't have a tried and true pattern, it's slightly more difficult. But for me, sewing a TNT, if I've lost my sojo, is so rewarding because you know you're going to get something you love out at the end of it. So yeah, I agree with you, Cecile. Catherine says, I got some art gallery rayon remnant, then further discounted after that from Lamazi. It's crazy light at 76 grams per meter. Wow, that is light. Caroline says to Alex, hi Alex, how are your bubs? Kathy says, going off to church, see you later. See you later, Kathy. Sandra says, exactly, Cecily. I think you mean Cecile. The pleasure to sew a project that fit you and to be to the point that you no longer need to look at the instructions. Yeah, I love that. Alex says to Caroline, hi, what are my bubs? I think she means the pets. So Caitlin says, love viscose from Atelier Brunette, very nice quality. Like I said, I've never bought any because it's just that little bit more expensive than Lady McElroy ones. And I love the prints, and there's a couple of prints that I've had my eye on and I might splurge. And again, if I see them at the Festival of Quilts, which I may, because like Fabric Godmother are there, but there aren't that many dressmaking specific shops going to be there. But I would like to see it and touch it in real life before I spend that extra couple of pounds per meter on it. And Jane is here. Hello Jane, how are you, my lovely? How is Essex? Marta says, so Caitlin, me too, love Atelier Brunette viscose. Cecile says to Sandra, I'm an extreme butternut squash shape, so once I master a dress, once I master a dress, which is what I find hardest to fit my shape, I stick to it. Lol. Yeah, I mean, if you spent a lot of time getting this thing to fit you perfectly, then multiples is perfectly reasonable. Alex says hi to Jane. So Caitlin says Liberty Cotton Lawn is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. It is incredibly expensive at £25 a meter, but you get what you pay for 100%. 100%. And I think comparing a £25 a meter fabric to a £15 a meter fabric and expecting them to be the same, I find that very strange. It's like I buy £5 a meter white cotton lawn to line my dresses, and that is not as fine as the Lady McElroy ones, but I don't expect it to be at that price. It does the job. It is a lining fabric that is similar in weight to the outer garment fabric. It feels really soft. It does everything I need it to do, but I don't need to line a garment with £25 a meter plain cotton lawn. I think actually the plain cotton lawns from Liberty are something like £19 per meter, but I don't need to line a garment in that kind of level of cost of fabric, if that makes sense. I still want the lining to be a good lining. I don't want to just shove any old thing in there. But my lining fabrics are £4 or £5 per meter. My Lady McElroy is £15 per meter. So I don't expect the two of them to be the same quality. And I mean, they do feel the same, but does that make sense? I'm rambling, aren't I? Alex says, need to go to my other machine's room to hem my dress. We'll be back in 5 minutes. I love that you have 2 machine rooms. Nimaway says, I'm back with ironed fabric and mostly uncurled jersey edges because hot steam is just what today's humidity needed. Ooh, nice. Sandra says to Vox, yes, this is exactly what I've done with the Vogue 8379. Caroline says to Alex, yes, sorry, babies. How are the babies? Sibs and Family says, Sean, could you ask your mum what pattern is called for the green sweater she knit for you? Green. The only green sweater I've got that Mum has knit for me is the Hortensia cardigan. Yeah, that's the only. I have two of them, one in an emerald green, one in a lime green, but they're both Hortensias. Is that the one you mean? The blue one she finished for me recently is the fine line sweater, and all the links, whenever I wear something, I always put the link to the pattern in the description box. Alex says to Caroline, they're well, thank you, sleeping after their bunny chase so I can do some sewing. Sorry about the caps, I was typing too quickly. Carol says, regarding slippery fabrics, best advice is starch, lots of starch, as long as it's a fabric you'll be washing. Yes, exactly, Carol. That is a brilliant, brilliant tip. As long as you can wash your fabric, starch the crap out of it before you start sewing it, before you start cutting it out. Make it behave itself. Give it that extra stiffness so that when it's not floating and like running away from you as you're trying to cut it out, and sew it. But yeah, before you even start looking at the fabric, starch it to then cut it out, to then sew with it, to then wash it, to then wear it. Very good tip, Carol. Sandra says to Cecilia, making several versions of dress compensate the time that you spent trying to master it. Agreed. Catherine says, I've got a favourite dress, a jersey one, Franklin patterned off Burda 6583. Love making it and wearing it. Nice. Susan says, I bought the white background with multiple coloured dragonflies. I also use patterns many times. Have a very out of print simplicity jacket pattern which has been made probably 20 times over the years. Nice. I've got that one up there. The black one is at the bottom there, and then in there somewhere is the white one, but that's the damselfly is such a pretty fabric. So Caitlin says, for viscose dresses I use Bemberg Cupro as a lining. Oh yeah, I mean I can get plain viscose from the fabric room for like £3 per meter, so I tend to use that. I tend to try and line whatever I'm working on. I tend to try and line it with something of a similar weight. If it's lightweight, then that cream suiting that I made the waistcoat, skirt, and really big dress out of, I used a viscose lining from from Sherwood Fabrics. It was a Lady McElroy. It was a viscose acetate lining, which I really, really like, and they're doing quite a lot of colours. So yeah, I'm just getting polyester out of, because I used to get polyester linings because they were so cheap, and then just wearing a cotton dress with a polyester lining in summer was awful. I hated it. So yeah. H says, I have so many 1 meter and 2 meter lengths of Liberty Lawn, I'm terrified to cut into them. Still looking for my TNT top. Yeah, I have a meter of Liberty Lawn that I won from Lynn in Aussie Blackbeard. She put it up on her blog. There was a giveaway. I don't know what to do with it because it's a meter, and that's why I'm trying to perfect these smaller tops and t-shirts and things, because I really want to use, I mean, I want to use all of my fabric, but I really want to get these made up. So yeah. Cecile says, out of curiosity, I looked up the difference between the Canadian dollar versus the British pound. 25 Canadian dollars equals 14 pounds. You need to do some serious Canadian fabric store shopping, Sean. Yeah. I just, then the post, don't tempt me. I'm trying to be good. Dee says, good morning. Good morning, Dee. Jane says, the Liberty Lawns are now 27 or 28 pounds on their website, and they're wonderful. I got some for £13 in the sale, bargain. They have gone up again, because when I bought my Carline, it was £22.50 per meter, and then it went up to 25, and they've gone up again. There is the Tresco print in the neon colorway. I made a lady a wedding dress out of that, and I love it. So I really want to get some of that. So Caitlin said Bemberg. Yeah, the Bemberg Cupro lining. Simpson family says, yes, the emerald one. Thanks. Awesome. Yes, it is the Hortensia. So Lily Bell says, stop tempting me with pattern sales. I'm getting my laptop right now. Sorry. Carol says, and restarch the fiddly bits like baby hems. Oh, yes. Chris says, hi, Sean, just logged in from Adelaide. How are you today? I'm very good, thank you, Chris. How are you? Good evening. Carol says, I'm very much on team remake the garments, cutting out my 4th pair of Carolyn pajamas today. They're a gift from my niece. Nice. Very nice. I need to remake myself a pair of those, although I don't wear pajamas, which is why they just never really, I keep thinking about them. I have the fabric for them, just never get made. Nicholas says, cost can be deceiving though. I've bought dead stock fabric, which was cheap. Turns out it was designer and excellent quality. I've had some Lady McElroy and it's lovely, but not sure I'd rave about it. See, this is the thing. Everybody has very different opinions on things. And yeah, no, I completely agree. Like dead stock fabrics, ex-designer fabrics, you can get them for a fraction of the price and they're amazing. I think that's the thing. Just swatches, get swatches. If you're shopping online, swatch. Slightly difficult if they are fabrics that are going to sell out like immediately, like some of the ones that I bought from Selvage and Bolts. But yeah, if you're new to a fabric company, get swatches of their different bases and see what you think about them. Cecile says, for lightweight fabrics, once you've starched the life out of them, make sure you pin once every inch versus using pattern weights, as they can stretch out of shape so fast. Good knowledge, thank you. Chris says, what's your favorite lining fabric? There is some Bemberg lining fabric from McCulloch and Wallace, which is amazing. It's an absolute bugger to work with, but it is lovely. I really like the viscose acetate lining from Lady McElroy. I also use cotton lawn a lot. And then, as I've mentioned, the rayons from the fabric room. So again, it depends what I'm making. But for super luxury, McCulloch and Wallace, their Bemberg rayon lining, oh, so nice. Cecile says, haha, the amount you buy at once, you will get free shipping every time. Yeah. But guys, I need to work through this and get this stash under control. You're supposed to be whittling this down, not adding to it. You're terrible enablers, and I love you all. So Caitlin says, before I cut into very expensive or loved fabric, I also check if I can get more of it, just in case I mess up. Yeah, I have a few fabrics in my stash that I can no longer get more of, and they are so precious to me because of the print or where they came from, all that kind of thing. So I have to know that the thing that I'm making with them is going to be amazing. Nimoy says, I have some Liberty poplin because after stroking the lawn, I was too terrified to buy it. Haven't dared sew up the poplin yet either. I have some Liberty poplin in my stash as well. And that, I'm still trying to work out what I want to make with it. Alex says, I got some Liberty, not as cheap as Jane's. So now I'm going to go and check their website for around £20 a metre on sale. I've already cut into some freehand cutting too. Love Liberty. Alex is very brave. I love this. Christine says, bonjour, Sean and the peeps from gloomy and cold Montreal today. By the way, you look wonderful. Thank you very much. I really like this dress. I should wear this more often. Let's see. X says, thank you for the starch the life out of the light fabric tip. I'm hoping it cures my fear. Give it a go. Let us know how you get on. Sandra says, hi, Sean. I'm trying to do a no by July, so I'm sorting through all my fabric and trying to create from what I already have. This is a very good idea. I always love shopping my stash, and I one of the things I miss about not having my fabric in the same place that I spend time, other than like in my last house I had it all up there with me, is that in the evenings if I get bored I get to take it all out, stroke it and play with it and put different things together and see what I think about stuff. So yeah, that's one of the things I miss about having my fabric all down here. I have to come down here to do that, but that's not, I mean, it's not far and it's not bad, so yeah. So Caitlin says, I cut into my Liberty lawn just like that. I have a couple of prints from them, but I used to buy I use the print I like least first. Good plan. Good plan. Alexandra says, hello, sweeties. Just to enable any interested out there, a number of Doctor Who and other franchise fabrics are at Spotlight from at the moment. I also bought Harry Potter for my daughters for loungewear. Nice enabling. Nice enabling. I like it, Alexandra. How are you, my lovely? Alex says, Bemberg is expensive though. Does anyone know cheapish ones? The Lady McElroy viscose acetate is £7 per meter. Is comparable in kind of the way it behaves. The feel is not the same, but it's still nice. It is still very nice. Truro Fabrics do their superior lining, which I think is £10 per meter. That's really nice as well. I don't know, what does everybody else use for linings? Let us know. Catherine says, hi Sandra, also trying to do No by July. There is a 30-yard fabric diet going around Instagram, but I've had to build up my stock to get up to 30 meters. Yeah, I've pinned that or taken a photo of that 30-meter diet stash kind of thing as well. I don't know if I'm going to actually achieve it, but well, I suppose I probably will achieve sewing 30 meters in July. Probably sew more, but we'll see. Alex says, Benberg, my laptop doesn't approve. Alexandra says 30 meters doesn't add up to 1/10 of my stash. No, I hate to think how much meterage I have behind me here. Definitely more than 30. Cecile says 2x. I found if you spray starch one side, then flip it and starch the other, it works best. When you wash the finished garment, soak it in a gentle soap for at least an hour before washing. Oh, you guys are full of all the good tips. Caroline says, I have a figured silk that my grandpa bought my nana when he was in the Far East with Prince Philip in the 50s, and I'm the third generation that's too terrified to cut into it. Yeah, I'm determined to use my Dior silks. I'm not going to pass those on because I don't have anyone to pass them on to, but yeah, they're not going to be generational fabrics. Alexandra says, definitely not bragging. I quilt and sew garments for myself and my family. Oh yeah, no, like there's nothing wrong with a big fabric stash. Don't get me wrong. Like totally with you on that one. Nimue says, you're a good influence on my stash right now. I'm cutting into that fill up the basket for free shipping fabric you reminded me of recently. That's good. Catherine says, I use leftover fabric from previous project to line new ones, mainly lining bodices. Alex says, I like the one from Truro, but would prefer the £7 one, so we'll check the viscose. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, so Sherwood have it. It's a viscose acetate Lady McElroy. I'm pretty sure it's Lady McElroy. The color range is not extensive, but it's decent. And again, it's a lining, so it doesn't have to be precisely the same shade, does it? Caroline says it's black with gold chrysanthemums. Oh, that sounds amazing. Cecile says, love my ass off. I bought twice the 30 meters just trying to get one Mother of the Bride dress my daughter likes for her wedding. Oh, yeah, but you've had some more trials with that, haven't you? Because obviously it's not their fault, but the date keeps changing, so the weather that you need to wear this dress in keeps changing as well. So, yeah. Sal says, I have a trench coat that is 100% acetate, both lining and lining, both outer layer and lining. X says to Cecile, thank you. I very much appreciate this knowledge. Thank you so much. Alex says to Sal, oh, sexy, lots of sweating. And I looked, acetate is actually a man-made fiber, like viscose. It's made very similarly to viscose because I wanted to know what acetate was because I was like, is that polyester? I don't want polyester in my wardrobe. It is actually a man-made fiber, so it should be breathable. X says, oh, I've read that one. Cecile says, by the way, the wedding is on the 25th of this month. Oh, I'm so excited that they finally get to do it. Jojo says, pass them on to me. What's that? What did I just say that? What am I passing on to you, Jojo? Sorry, I have the memory of a goldfish, apparently. Christine says, what's on your sewing table today? Looks nice. What are you saying today? Looks nice on your table. Eve dress, I'm nearly finished. And Ashley says, my grandmother gave me some handmade cotton trims that her mother crocheted. They're so precious. It must be a special project. It is scary. Lol. Definitely. Like heirloom things like that are utterly terrifying to cut into. Totally. I'm going to turn the iron on 2 secs. I completely understand that. They are terrifying to cut into because there's always the what if it goes wrong fear. And that's, you know, that's another reason that TNT dresses are amazing, because if you've perfected the fit of something, then you know it's going to look awesome in the finished product. X says, Alexandra, no bragging detected. I want to reach a stage where I make everything I wear, so you're an inspiration. Ashley says, I've read that one, sorry. Sips and Family says, I use polyester, cotton, rayon, and muslin for lining. Cecile says, they originally had the wedding for last New Year's Eve, then we got hit with the lockdown on Boxing Day, so then the wedding was moved to March, still in lockdown, so moved to April, then June, still in lockdown. I'm so glad that it's finally happening for you. Alexandra says, bless you, lovely. She, with the most fabric, has endless options and creative delight. Oh, Jojo says, your Dior silks, I deserve them. Ha ha ha. No, I'm determined to make them into skirts. And actually, that's a really good, because they're Dior silk. Because they're silk, I'm going to buy some silk to line them with, which is going to be really expensive. But I want the lining to have the same property as the outer fabric. I made a 5-panel circle skirt from the Lady McElroy Savannah Lena crepe, which is a polyester fabric, and I lined that with cotton lawn, and I actually really liked the way that turned out, but it wasn't ideal. It made the skirt more poofy than the Lena crepe naturally would have been, but as I say, it turned out well. That was a good kind of happy accident. But you want to try and line what you're making with a similar weight of fabric. So yeah, I am, for those Dior silks, I'm going to, because they're Devore, so they're slightly sheer as a silk, and then they have totally sheer panels in them. So I'm going to try and find a silk that I like the color of underneath of them. I kind of want to go to Sherwood's, and because they have some Lady McElroy silks. I promise I'm not sponsored by Lady McElroy, but they have some Lady McElroy silks that they have in lots of different options, and I want to see what the weight's like, but I also want to take my silk with me and lay it over the top and see which color I like underneath the best as well. Nicole says, I think of overhead projector acetate plastic sheets, also automatically thought plastic. Yeah, same. I agree with you. Acetate to me immediately made me think plastic. So I looked it up. Let me just double check that I'm not totally fibbing to you, because I did look it up, but as I've established, I have a goldfish brain, so it could well have been fibbing. What is acetate fabric made of? Acetate is a man-made fiber derived from cellulose. Purified cellulose is obtained from wood pulp using a chemical reaction with acetic acid and sulfuric acid. The fabric has a luxurious feel and appearance, but is also very delicate in its pure form and must be hand washed. So maybe that's why they mix it with viscose, so it's then machine washable. But yeah, no, so acetate to me, in my first initial reaction was, oh, that's plastic, that's polyester. No, but it turns out it's not. So there you go. Nicola says, nice see-through coat in plastic sheets. Haha. Oh, there is actually a company that makes see-through raincoats. Bianca from the Closet Historian has bought one, and it is immense. Sorry, random tangent there. Cecile says, after June, we went to August as the venue cancelled all weddings. Now out of lockdown, she found a different venue, and 21 days we will be getting her married before they head to their posting out west. Oh, that's so exciting. Alex says, I always use my pretty fabric first in case I died suddenly and I left it behind. That would really annoy me. I love you, Alex. Alexandra says, haha, I feel you, Alex. Cecile says they are military Air Force and wanted to get married before they left for 3 years. I completely understand. Viv says, woohoo, just done my first ever garment, buttonholes on my first ever shirt. That was very tense. Feel your pain, but I'm so glad you got it done. Nicholas says to Alex, I told hubby I wanted to be buried with mine. He said, yes, you'll need a grave the size of a football pitch. Alexandra says, the fabric store online in New Zealand have brilliant sales on Liberty fabric and they ship overseas. This is true. I have, yeah, that's another one that I've discovered. Viv says, I need to lie down in a darkened room now. It's all right, Viv, you can do it. Jojo is laughing her ass off at Alex. Sal says to Alex, lol, and I just sent you a video message of me wearing it on Facebook Messenger. Paula says, love your cup. Oh, this one. This is from my NutriBullet. And that is my lunch. It's a Huel milkshake. Well, not milkshake, like a Huel shake. Alex says, I've learned something. I had no idea acetate is a kind of viscose. Good to know. Still feels a bit polyestery, so maybe I had a fake one. I'm sure like not all acetates are created equal, and I'm sure that acetate gets blended with polyester. I think that's what the Truro Fabric's cheaper fabric is a acetate poly blend. So because I do know that they do that. So yeah. Caroline says Bianca often mentions Ben Berger rayon linings. Yeah, she does. They are horrible to work with, but they feel amazing. And Cecile says, Sean, when you slice and spread a straight skirt to a circle skirt, is there a maximum you should spread it? It depends what kind of circle skirt you're going for, because to be honest, I would start drafting a circle skirt from scratch rather than slash and spreading a shorter skirt. Sorry, a straight skirt. Yeah, Cecile, it depends on what kind of skirt you're starting with and what you're going for. Right, my iron is hot and it's probably used all of the water in it, so there's no steam, but I'm going to go and press the binding on this. Oops. My tailor's ham went for a trip. It's on the floor. It went for a trip on the floor. Right. So I'm using my ham to press the back neck edge because it's curved, and I really don't want to press any creases in. She says. Give it a quick press from the other side. Live hangout, someone ironing, fun times. Okay. Nearly done. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves. Should have pointed you at the mannequins, shouldn't I? Although that would really creep me out if they started moving up behind me. Nearly done. Just got the rest of the skirt front to do. Okay, so now that's all pressed, I can sew that down. I get asked a lot about wearing viscose, like does it crease? And so yes it does, constantly. But it also presses really nicely, so it's fun to work with, whereas polyester doesn't press very well at all, it's horrible to work with, but it doesn't crease when you wear it. You do get a little sweaty in it though. All right, where did I get to with the chat? I keep pausing it, I don't know why. Let's see, where did I get to with the chat? There we go. Carol says, Shellcat has Liberty Fabrics currently at $20, though some are now $30. Cecile says, I have a dress that has an empire bodice and the skirt comes straight down into a weird side ruching, which doesn't really work for my body. So I took the pleats out of the side and taped it together to keep the top edge for fitting it back into place. Otherwise, I would have created my own. Lol. Ah, right. Okay. Making the skirt out of charmeuse, so it's super flowy over the hips. I think the only restriction for adding fullness to a skirt like that would be the width of your fabric, and if you need to cut it on a fold, you need to bear in mind what the bottom width of the fabric is going to be on the fold, so that you don't make your panel any bigger than that. But I think please correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, you can add as much flair as you like to things. After a certain point, it does start to distort pattern shapes a lot more than others, but The thing that I would bear in mind is the width of the fabric that I'm going to be cutting it out of. And silk charmeuse, good luck. Ooh. Catherine says to Cecile, I wonder if Bianca, closet historian, has instructions for going from a straight skirt to a circle skirt. She does lots of pattern manipulation videos in a non-scary way. Yeah, she has got one for turning a pencil skirt with 2 darts into an A-line skirt. So you just rotate the darts out. She does that quite a lot. And she has got some great videos on there. So I can't think of exactly one off the top of my head, but I know she does take the darts out of a pencil skirt to put the fullness into the flare of the skirt. Cecile says, awesome, thanks to Catherine. Awesome. Alexandra says, Cecile, I wonder if cut on the bias would help with the skirt swoosh out. Carol says, I only recently discovered how nice Bembog is when you wash it. I've used it for years, but only in things you dry clean, like wools. It changes a lot, becomes soft and lovely. Yeah, I don't think I've used it in coat linings and a wedding dress. I don't think I've used Bembog in anything that gets washed. Oh, no, I do tell a lie. One of my Anna dresses, I lined the bodice of that in the leftovers from my coat, and that got washed quite a lot, and it did take on a very different texture. I know what you mean. Yes. Cecile says, I don't know why when companies develop patterns for plus size figures, they think adding more gathers helps to hide what's under the fabric. Alexandra, I was thinking of that too, but I don't know if I will have time to let the hem fall, and if I get it hem before the 24th when we travel. Yeah, bias cut charmeuse. That's going to drop a lot. Alexandra says, or Cecile, or they design sacks or Cecile, they design a sack as so often Berda does for the plus size patterns. Yeah, I think that's another thing. Gertie got into a little bit of hot water last month, didn't she? Because the latest patterns that she released weren't in her larger size range, but the one that she has released, the cinch it dress, was everyone was saying, oh, it's basically a trapezoid shape that you then belt if you want to or not, and that's the only one that you put into the larger sizes. And I mean, I do understand that making blocks to then grade patterns from is difficult and expensive, and it's just, you should be size inclusive. I mean, this is another reason that I'm not going to ever release patterns, is because I wouldn't be able to afford to be size inclusive. I mean, if I won the lottery, then you guys can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to be making patterns for you guys to buy, because there's loads of stuff in my head that I just never find patterns for. But I want to do it well. I want to do it inclusively. I want to do it so that everybody can make it. So yeah, anyway, sorry. Random tangent. Damn it, Apparel says, bye everyone. I'm off to go watch the Formula 1 race now. We'll be back after if the stream is still up. Have fun. So Caitlin says, what is everyone making right now? I'm chasing the 8211 from McCall's. Chosen that because I hope I don't need to do a broad upper back and round back adjustment on them. Ooh, good luck. Alexandra says, I understand your dilemma. Sal says, would be like Will Smith and Fred the Mannequin and I Am Legend movie. Nope. I've watched that once and I blocked it from my memory, so I can't remember exactly what you're referring to. Cecile says it's the 6783 from Butterick to Elena. Catherine says to So Caitlin, I'm making the Simplicity 9262 hacked into a top. I found one I really liked in Monsoon, but I'm trying not to buy clothes if I can make them. Chris says there was a Vogue pattern sale at Spotlight today for $5.40 each. I bought 8 patterns. Nice. Elena says to Cecile, thank you. It's pretty. It's a pretty silhouette. Shannon says, hello from Pennsylvania, USA. My mum and I love your channel. You are such an inspiration for us. Thank you for all the lovely videos. Oh, thank you so much, Shannon. Welcome. Catherine says, annoyed the latest release Berda only go 8 to 18 in old money, so more like 4 to 14 in current UK sizing. Oh, that's not good, is it? Ashley says, printing Luna Tank and Pietra shorts right now. I like the Pietra is the closet core patterns. It's a Luna as well. I really like the Pietra. somebody recommended those as when I was talking about my trouser issues. So Cecile says to Elena, I have made it out of a deep blue teal lace top with matching lining and with a charmeuse skirt. Haven't cut the skirt yet as it's taken 4 fabric orders to get the fabric to match the lace. Oh, wow. And Eileen is here. Agreed about the size inclusion, but almost all the indies and many of the big 4 patterns I see being featured just now look like sacks anyway. What's with these endless shapeless tops and dresses? Yeah, there's like the latest release from Vogue was just a bit meh. And she says, oh yes, I found the Rachel Comey 1704 has a pair of very nice tailored character pants. You can probably crop it with a 3-piece suit. Ooh. Cecile says, I'm really liking the Love Notions patterns, but I don't sew a lot of knit and quite a few of them are knits. Nimue says, I'm using an altered Tilly in the Button Agnes as a sleeveless bodice and will add gathered rectangle skirt to it. Still contemplating waistband or no waistband. Nice. I'll keep turning it off. I shouldn't turn it off. So, right, okay. Let's try and get this dress finished, shall we? Right. Okie dokie. So, more bias binding to sew on. Keep the ties out of the way because I do not want to sew those in anything. Okie dokie. Yeah, we've got proper concentration face going on now. That iron is just puffing away all the steam. I'm not pressing any of the buttons to ask for steam, as you can see. I'm quite a way away from the iron, but it's still just chuntering away over there. I need a new iron. Try and not let any of the weight of the dress pull on the fabric as I'm stitching it because I don't want it to get rippled. Having said that, it's got a little bit rippled, but I think as long as I press it correctly, it'll be fine. Again, proper concentration face. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, itchy nose. Whoa, that's not good. Okay. Really trying to not get any tucks or puckers in around the back neckline. As we mentioned, it is a curve. Can always unpick and just kind of redo an area if I need to. But it would be nice not to need to. It's a serious concentration phase going on right here. High stakes sewing, peeps. Just the sort of thing you want to do on camera. Oops. Sorry. Just making sure that the tie's not going to get sewn in anything that it shouldn't. Yeah, really not a great conversationalist when I'm having to concentrate. You can do it! I'm realizing that I'm going to have to try and put a buttonhole in on camera as well, which is just terrifying. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine, right? Nearly done. I haven't stuck my tongue out yet, have I? I don't think I did. Okay, now I get to look at the other side and see how that came out. Hopefully it's pretty good. Trim my threads. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty good. I'm going to go and press it again. And then we can hem it. The iron finally stopped chuntering and I've just turned it back on. Right, food. Okay, where are we with the chat? Where did I get to? Let's see. Viv says, well, now I've recovered from those buttonholes, I'm about to start cutting out deep purple linen caladium jumpsuit for my mother of the bride outfit in 3 weeks, cutting it fine. It sounds very, very nice. Alex says, I'm making a roughly dress from my Pretty Fabric Stores London. It's self-drafted and changed design about 3 times. I love the roughly dress that you put up the other day, Alex, on Instagram. It was really pretty. Isley says, love cashmerette for bigger sizes because they don't expect everyone to wear shapeless garments. Yeah. I think that was the point I was trying to make with the Gertie comment, was just like the every size range deserves to have the full style range as well. Simpson Family says, I'm making the 6839 new look, but this blooming rain and thunder has halted my progress, so just watching Sean. Oh no. But I'm glad you're with us. But sorry for the halt in progress. Susan says to sew Caitlin, I just bought the assembly line bow neck blouse. We'll be making it in silk. I saw the pattern on the fold line new releases a couple of months ago. Nice. So Caitlin says, Berda does have issues for bigger sizes only. I think the designs are different though, aren't they? Johanna says, I finished a long walk. Thanks for reading out the comments so I could keep up while listening. Oh, cool. Eileen says, hi Shine and Peeps, sorry for my rant and not saying hello, but I would love to see some new stylish patterns just for a change. By that I mean ones that don't rely on elastic and belts for shaping. Agreed. The latest releases, like I said, the Vogue ones, and some of them are calls as well, to be honest, were a bit like, they're a bit boring. Cecile says, oh, and hello Eileen, by the way, as well, welcome. Cecile says, all dresses I've made for the wedding, starting with winter appropriate weight fabrics to the summer weight, so all different styles, because I can't walk into a store and try any silhouettes. Oh. Alexandra says, also agree with you, cashmere have great designs. Cecile says, not just because of my lockdowns, but because they don't carry my sizes. Chris says, why are you sewing with the bulk of your fabric under the throat of the machine? Because of the type I'm using a blind hem foot to edge stitch, and if I had this is a number 5 foot, which is a blind hem foot, and what I need is an edge stitch foot, but I don't have that. I'm buying it when I get to the Festival of Quilts, which will mean that I won't have to put the fabric all under here. But because of the type of foot I have, where the blade is and the needle is, I have to have the fabric there for the result I want. Alex says to Eileen, I love belts and elastics. I don't have any hourglass figure, so properly fitted dresses are not great for me. Ashley says, I haven't really shopped for over 2 years. I always feel like a hassle and mostly just don't like what's available. Yeah, agreed. I haven't gone into a department or like a clothing shop to buy something for 10 years now, I don't think. Wow. I mean, at least 8, but probably longer because I tried to stop shopping before I started sewing properly as well. Simpson Family says, Chris, I do that sometimes when I sew from the top to hem or when I'm stopping at markings and putting the fabric under the throat of the machine. Yeah, it's not the correct way, but if it works for you, and as I say, it works with the foot that I'm using for the technique that I'm doing. Cecile says to sew Caitlin, yes, they do, but they're either very fitted for a tall, large woman or they're caftan styles. Like Sean said, I'd be happy with something in the middle. Deb Roth Wingfield, hi all from New Jersey. Hello, welcome. So Caitlin says, I get annoyed with Burda magazine because they only start at size 36. I need parts in 34. Started buying Vogue and McCall's patterns now because they start from a size 6. Carolyn says, hi peeps, hope everyone is doing well. Happy 4th of July. Hi Carolyn. Shannon says, I agree. So Caitlin, the plus size designs patterns are just big dresses because they assume big girls have no shape. Sigh. So Caitlin says, I always like the style of large Burda patterns. The very few petite styles they offer are usually not my thing. I mean, I'm always really just in the middle of like a stand, and it's this thing, it's not a standard size range. I'm just something that I generally find that everything is catered for me. So these are issues that it's never really occurred to me. It's like until I started reading blogs and listening to other people on YouTube and stuff, and it was just like, why is it just not available for everybody? Like, surely people get to decide what they want to put on their body regardless of their size, and it shouldn't be dictated to them that, oh, because you're this size you should only have tent-like dresses, or because you're this size you should only have fitted dresses. Like, everything should be available for everybody. Catherine says, some digital patterns do nice thing where you can choose which layers you want to print, so you just do the size you think you need and the one above and below that. Wish that was a standard. Yeah, because I've never really thought of that as an advantage for me, because quite a lot of the time I need to trace quite a few sizes up or down. But I suppose if you didn't have to print all of the sizes and you can just pick the layers, then yes, that is a helpful thing, and that only really occurred to me recently as well. Ashley says to Cecile, I agree, and they all look the same. Prefer to buy McCall's because I like their designs. Cecile says, I haven't figured out how to do that yet, Catherine, which was the picking which layers to print and not print. So Caitlin said, since Sean mentioned that $70 US free shipping from Something Delightful, I ordered printed patterns in the latest sale, but I just need the smaller size range, but for sale price, one could get both, definitely. Mary says, hi Sean, so happy to have finally made it to the hangout again. I hope all is going well with you. Hi Mary, how are you, my lovely? Nice to see you. Ashley says, yes, some companies do that, just printed Pietra as a 16, 18 and 20. Oh, excuse me, hiccups. Carolyn says, I love PDF digital patterns for the larger size range. The ability to print rather than trace and to choose just one size print rather than all of them. Nightmare Bug says, how's the washing fairy? Miss his random visits on your lives. He's good. Mum is out at the moment looking around gardens with her friend. Dad is pottering around in the front garden. He might well pop his head in later, like he has done last week. Yeah, they're good. They are good. Cecile says, in Canada, it's hard to get Simplicity. They were my go-to before indie patterns. Now Butterick. I've ordered 2 digital patterns. They didn't print properly with little assistance from customer service. Oof. Alex says, thank you, Sean. My flatsy Instagram dress compliment. Yeah. And I also like the selfie that you and Hedgehubby put up the other day of you in your leafy t-shirts. It's like you're blending into the background, but also that fabric. Oh, so pretty. Ashley says, our customers have been crazy these past years, so getting PDF always shrugs, although my bestie coming from the US next month, and I'm thinking about sending her to Joanne's, but I'm afraid to ask. I'm sure she will say yes. I ask people all the time. People also do offer, so it's not just me. But yeah, ask. She can always say no. Jojo says, yep, I got one Birder magazine, decided never again. I'm too big for the main patterns, but their bigger styles were boxy and mumsy. Why can't I, as a curvy girl, wear the gorgeous designs everyone else can? Yeah. So Caitlin says, Sean, listening to your voice, you have attracted both of my British short hair cats to lie next to me. Oh, hello, kitties. Cecile says, I have 5 size difference between top and bottom. So when buying a dress to fit my hips, the top is massive. If I fit the top, I can't get it over my hips. I hear you. I hear you. Totally get that. Marta says, in all honesty, Birder magazines were my first patterns and almost made me quit sewing clothes for good. I only went back to sewing garments after I discovered the big 4 patterns via your videos. Oh, wow. I've just bought another Birder magazine because there's a dress in it that I love, and I've got like lots of Birder magazines out there. Karin sent me one for the Dirndl issue, which I'm still trying to work up the courage to start, because she also sent me the silk to make it from, which is beautiful, and I'm terrified of it. I'll show you in a second. But yeah, I'm still plucking up the courage to start working with a Birder pattern. So Caitlin said, I even need different sizes in the bodice, front and back, different sizes at the waist and hips of another size. Lol. Cecile says, amen to Jojo. I'm 52-year-old mumsy, but I'd like style patterns. Alex says, Sean, our leafy tops attract bees. It's really funny. Oh, so cute. Elena says, sorry, I have to leave you. Granny is calling. Nice to see you, Elena. And she says, Birder, it's not that hard to grade up. I often do it just as I trace. Interesting. So look at this beautiful silk. So Karin sent me this stunning silk, the Birder magazine with the dirndls in it, the little hooks, and then the ribbon as well to make the whole thing. And I am terrified of cutting into this. I will do it. But I'm just really scared. Right, ironing. Oh, the iron's turned off again. I was talking so long, sorry. Okay. So just gonna press that front edge that I've just sewn. Hopefully the iron won't take too long to heat up. Yes, I'm going to press the front edge that I've just sewn. Then I can sew in the guide stitches for the hem. Don't think I'm going to get the other. I had all this, like, I'm going to finish this in the first hour, and then I'm going to sew the other Eve dress up, and that, you know, it only took me 4 hours yesterday. It's going to be fine. Oh dear. Delusional. Totally delusional. Oh, I was getting a lot of people commenting as well, saying, why am I bothering to make trousers? And I've answered that question, and it will be going up in a vlog in a couple of days. But I used to wear trousers all the time. Sorry, I'm talking head now. I used to wear trousers all the time, and I just don't anymore because none of them fit me anymore. And I miss having trousers as an option in my wardrobe. So that's why I'm trying to make trousers fit me. It's not because I think I should and that I think I should wear trousers. It's because I love wearing trousers, and I just do not have any that fit me at the moment. So that's why I'm trying to persevere with trousers. Ugh, it's a lot of dress. It's all being really shifty. Okay. So, front edge is sewn, and despite being that careful, I have got one tiny little tuck, but it's at the shoulder seam, and I'm going to leave it in there because, you know, no one's ever going to notice that. You would never have noticed if I hadn't told you. Right, so now I need to hem it. Fun times. Let's see, where did I get to? Let's see. Eleanor's here. Good morning. Good morning, Eleanor. How are you, my lovely? So Caitlin says, wow, very nice. Make it and you'll be the star of Oktoberfest. I'm determined to make it this year. I really am, because it's just so beautiful. Like I say, Karen sent me absolutely everything I need for it, so I just need to get over the fear. I will obviously make a muslin first. I have some other brocades in there that work really well for muslins because they're similar weight to that silk I showed you. Cecile says, I have banker boxes full of Burda magazines starting in the 80s and have favourites in many of them. To be completely honest, I think I've sewn 2 or 3 patterns from them. Yeah, I keep considering getting a Burda subscription. I consider it every year, and then I just think, I don't know. There's easier patterns to work with, I think. Mary says, Ash, ask your US friend today. Simplicity is on sale for 99 cents today only. Ooh. Nimue says, trying to cut an even rectangle from jersey with artfully uneven stripes. Lasai. Oh gosh, good luck. Jane says, I sew almost exclusively from Burda magazines. I love them. You soon get the hang of them. I like the styles and the block fits me really well. That's good. Yeah, I think that's the thing. I found that the McCall's and Vogue blocks fit me brilliantly. The Butterick one's pretty good too. They fit me really, really well, which is, you know, lucky. I have to do a few standard alterations to them, but I have to do that pretty much to every pattern. And I think that's one of the things, if you find a company that's block works well for you, then you tend to be very loyal to that company. Cecile says, I can't wait for Canada US borders to reopen just to get my cheapy patterns. So Caitlin says, I use Burda quite often, but they sometimes make them so complicated and their easy styles are just shapeless tents or elastic somethings. I need a break now. And again from Burda. Catherine says, if someone wants to see my Burda Franken pattern, look for Dinosaur Maxi on Instagram. Intriguing. I shall be looking at that later. Cecile says to Jane, I like the older Burda styles from the early 2000s. And she says, bye for now. Tomorrow is a work day and it's well past 11 in Australia. Lol. Good night. Thank you for joining us. Jane says, Cecile agreed. The old Burdas are fabulous. Nimue says, Shan, if you want to sew a true to style dirndl with less precious fabric first, I can point you towards some lovely I can never say that, glazed cotton. That's what fancier dirndls are traditionally made of. Ooh. Nimue. Ooh. I need to sew it out of something similar to that silk. Let me show you the magazine that Karen sent me. This is the extent of my Burda collection. This is the one I bought the other day specifically, and I'd won £7.50, £5 on the lottery, so it cost me £2.50. But I bought it for that pattern, which somebody, I think it was Julie, put it up in the Peeps group. Is that not gorgeous? But this is the one that Karen sent me, I think, because she's put a post-it note in it. Yeah, 2 secs. Put these away. So it was Burda September 2015. and that's the one. I put my fingers over the line drawings. Isn't he beautiful? It's going to look really cool. I just need to pluck up the courage to actually make it. But she sent me the little silver doodads and the ribbon and the fabric. It's the masterpiece one. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. So yeah, I'm plucking up because that's going to go really well with my 70s pirate capsule collection. And my pirate capsule, my pirate core Instagram, not Instagram, Pinterest board is full of those kind of dirndl bodices, because I think I'd look good in them, if I say so myself. And I think they'd work really well with my wardrobe and the sorts of things that I like to wear. But glazed cotton, so Nimue, I might take you up on that offer, but I do think I need to make the muslin for that one out of a similar fabric to the silk. So yeah. Cecile says, I like Burda because they were one of the first to get into larger size ranges, but they went stagnant for a while with patterns that had shape. So Crafty Nana says, good morning, sewing along with you this morning, making a sleeveless knit top to wear to a cookout later today. Very nice. Nimue says, my autocorrect doesn't like your name and it turns it into sin, a German word for sense. Oh, that's so not right, is it? No, sense, definitely not. Marta says to Nimue, could you please share some recommendations in the Peeps group? I have a vintage dirndl and I was planning to sew one for the longest time. Yeah, Nimue, now that you've mentioned fabric, you're going to have to put it up in the Peeps group. Cecile says, I started using the German website for Burda so I can print off the patterns instead of trace. So much faster. Asley says, I'm in a similar situation, but for me, my dresses and skirts that don't fit right now, I actually love wearing them. Yeah. It's like I talked about in the video, it's one of those things, and I just need to get my head around the changingness of the human body and get over myself. I know that, but yeah, I would like trousers that fit. So I hope you can work out a way of getting your dresses and skirts to either fit or make some new ones that you love. Cecile says to Catherine, I love it. Catherine says, hi, Sean. Has Sean frozen for anyone else? Oh, no. Oh, no. That's not good. So Caitlin says, I chose exactly that pattern, Sean. Bought cotton twill with stripes in white and dark red. Nice. That's going to look really, really awesome. Catherine says, thanks to Cecile. Jane says, Cecile, great idea. I have looked at the Russian site also. Their downlines are really cheap. And so Caitlin says it was meant to be cotton, not colton. Got that. Nimue says to Marta, I'll put the link in the Peeps group. I hope they do still international shipping despite new VAT rules and stuff. I have one of those cottons in my stash and it feels really nice. Daydream Believer's here. Hello, sorry I'm late. Viewers this morning on my home. Very stressful. Oh gosh. Oh, I feel you. Cecile says, Catherine, following you now. Aha, you found it. I'm going to have to look. Dinosaur Maxi. And Carol says, yes, it's frozen for me, but refreshed and it was fine. Oh, and Alex says, Sean froze for me too. Now melted back to normal. I've reloaded. Oh gosh. The internet's meant to be better here. Right. Shall we start with the hem? Shall we start hemming this dress? So I have not once let the hem of an Eve dress drop in a rayon, which is probably really silly, but I've never noticed in any of my Eve dresses that they've dropped on the bias, because somebody was asking me the other day how I level the hem for them, and it's like, I don't. So fingers crossed, this one is also one of those ones that, because I'm going to sew the hem, I'm just doing this the way that I always do all my Eve dresses. Right. And I'm going to machine sew the hem on this because I've machine sewed the hem on the sleeves, and because you have to machine finish the front edge of the dress, I don't mind machine finishing the hem of the dress. Why is this being funny? This is not working the way it's meant to. What's going on? I'm going to rethread because it feels, the top thread feels really tight for some reason, which is weird. Okay, so I'm going to, basically I'm sewing a line of stitches a quarter away, an inch away from the bottom edge. I'm going to use that as a pressing guide to press it up and then press it up again. Still feeling like it's not running through easily, which is weird. That's pulling fine. Let's try that again. Okay. It'll be fine. Yeah, that's working better. Don't know what was going on there. It was weird. Let's see. Oh, oh. Cecile says, who here has used the horsehair braid to do micro hems? I'm tempted. I bought lots to practice with on scraps. I've never heard of it being used for micro hems. Interesting. Is the braid still wide, but because you sew on a tiny little bit at the bottom, that's why it's a micro hem? Explain more. Want to know. Hide and Seek says, hi all, better late than never. Welcome. It's nice to see you. Mary says, both of the bird address patterns are stunning, Sean. Yes. I know. I need to pluck up the courage to just do them, don't I? Cecile says, I watched a video on how to do it and it doesn't look that hard. You cut off one edge of the braid, put it under the fold of the hem and start sewing. When you're done, pull out and trim. Oh, okay. Debbie says, It'll Be Fine going to be the new Ask Me How I Know. Yes. I need to do some merch with It'll Be Fine, don't I? To go with the Ask Me How I Know one. So I'm sewing, because I'm sewing a single layer of fabric, I really want to make sure that it's not going to gather itself up, and because it can sometimes do that. Then I've got to do a buttonhole. It'll be fine. to a seam. Make sure everything lies nice and flatly. Yeah, I think I just need to kind of get over my fear of Burda. Alex has done some brilliant videos on how to work with them. I think Rachel's done some as well. So I just need to get over the fear and make those things, because I mean, I need to do that with a lot of my stuff, actually. Just get over the fear and do it. We'll get there. We will get there. Hopefully it's not frozen again. Hopefully it's behaving itself. It's like the Style Arc Ziggy jacket. I really want to make that. 4 of you guys bought me that pattern, which was amazing of you. I need to just get over my fear and just try, because building up in my head to be this big thing is making it worse. And what's the worst that could happen? It all goes horribly, horribly wrong, and I'll learn something. So has anyone else made the Style Arc Ziggy jacket? Has anyone got any top tips for me? My stomach is making the weirdest noises. That's so strange. I know a Challenging Sew has made it, and I know there is a sew along, like a blog sew along, and I know Style Arc instructions are brief. It'll be fine, won't it, guys? It'll be totally fine. Got a giant bit of fluff. Giant bit of fluff. I finished working with the purple needle cord, and there was just purple dust everywhere. Like everywhere. I'm so excited that I finally plucked the courage up to sew this fabric, because I love it so much. It is so pretty. I'm so happy. I fixed the red butterick dress that I needed to take the zip out of because it was too short yesterday, and I put the dress on again, and it was just like, I love this style. I was going to wear it today, but it's a little bit, it's long sleeved. I mean, it's still a viscose, so it probably would have been fine, because I just wanted the ability to take the sleeves off if I wanted to. But yeah, it's such a pretty dress. I've bought 2 more 26-inch zippers that are in like a turquoise color, so I should definitely be making more of those. All right, where are we? Debbie says, Hilo on Saturday Night Stitch channel shows full previews of the next Burda, including the line drawings. Now I only get 2 or 3 a year. Ah, yeah. I do like her flick throughs. Alex says, I have a love-hate relationship with Burda. I hate tracing, but after a few patterns, it's actually very easy and quick. They are easy to adjust. Debbie says, when I get the fear, I have to tell myself it's a frock, not a kidney operation. That's brilliant. Hide and Seek Silk says, Berda style patterns are fab. I think I've made more Berda style patterns than any other company, perhaps with the exception of Itch to Stitch with their cup size patterns. Hide and Silk says, has anyone used Wissou sewing patterns? It's a French pattern company I just came across. The designs look super cute. Not a huge size range. I bought a couple to try. I haven't even heard of them. I shall have to check them out. Cecile says, one of my favorites from Berda is a slip dress. It's great summer. It's great for summer dresses or as slips for under other dresses or PJs. And Hide and Silk is laughing at Debbie. Cecilia says, I don't comment much, but I really enjoy your lives and that you share your perspective and struggles with us. Thank you for commenting, Cecilia. Viv says, someone was having a heated debate about something at work the other day, and I said, it'll be fine, and started chuckling and got lots of quizzical looks. Nice. It'll be fine. Yeah, there's a couple called Evan and Caitlin who I follow, and I say words are hard. That's one of their that they have on merch and stuff, and I got that from them. I do love their channel. They are so funny. They make amazing stuff, but they're just so funny as a couple as well. Oh, how are you guys finding the audio on my videos? Because someone commented the other day that they want me to get like a mic. The camera I use doesn't have an external mic port, so I'd have to get like a whole system set up, which I think I can do on my iPhone. But yeah, how is the audio on my videos usually? Are you finding it okay? Because especially when I'm talking to the camera when I'm further back, I always find it fine when I'm editing, so I've never really kind of worried about investing in like a lapel mic or anything like that. But if the audio is not great, then yeah, that's critical, constructively critical feedback that I would like. I mean, at the moment, I am using my laptop, so the fact that the picture quality and the sound quality is as decent as it is kind of a miracle. So yeah. Okay, so I've sewn my line of guide stitching for turning the hem up. Just going to trim off the excess threads. Okay. Where do we get to with the chat? Oh, I need to turn the iron on before I start looking at the chat. Let's not stand on my maxi dress. I do love a maxi dress, but I do end up standing on the hem of this quite a lot. I was thinking this morning maybe I should turn the hem up one more time because I've hemmed it with bias binding. I was thinking maybe I should turn it up, but I kind of don't want to do that. Let's see. Let's see. Daydream Believer says, can hear you fine, no problems. So Caitlin says the audio is fine for me. Nimue says, sorry, I made reckless promises. This store used to have a whole range of colours and patterns for the longest time, and now it's all gone. I'll cast a wider net later, see what I can find. Haha, Nimue, you made work for your own back, but please do let us know if you find something good, because new fabric sources is always a good thing. Karen says it's good for me. Alexandra says not an issue for me. Jane says audio is good for me. Karen says my spacebar is wonky. Okay. Oh, it's good form. Yes, yeah, nice. Hide and Silk says no problem with the audio. You can enhance the audio in editing if need be. Yeah. Kim says audio is fine for me too. I never noticed an issue when I was editing, which is why I'd never thought about it until this person commented. Kim says audio is fine for me too. So Crafty Nana says I've never had any audio issues on any of your videos, and I watch them all. Alexandra says they may have a hearing issue. Yeah, possibly. Eileen says the audio is fine, no problem with the volume. Viv says I also say things from 1W1A, like that's strong, when someone makes a fortuitous comment, and there are a couple of other fans who also laugh at it, but not many. Nice. Susan says audio is fine here. Viv says audio is absolutely fine for me. Cecilia says I find the audio great, but with the lapel mic you could do wonky voice stuff for a dramatic effect. I think you're good. Ashley says fine for me too. Laurel says good morning from sunny Chicago. Good morning, Laurel. Carolyn says audio and video fine here. Jojo says for me the audio is absolutely perfect. I switched from phone to PC up in the Temple of Doom and both are fine and dandy. Lottie says the audio is fine for me. I haven't noticed a problem. It isn't amazing on the live stream, but I've had assumed that was my phone. Okay. Christine says audio and visual fine. Karen says, I have 3 stepdaughters who are under 5 feet tall. I threaten to steal their maxi dresses and hem them. Hide and Seek says, laughs to Karen as well. And Cecilia says to Debbie, Lisa from and so on goes through Berda as well. Saves me tons of money. Oh, good to know about the audio, because like I said, when I was editing, it was like, and it's, I used to get comments about the music being too loud as well, and it was just like, but I edit this and it's totally fine for me, so I've kind of lowered the volume of some of the music I use, and nobody's complained since. So, but yeah, I suppose it depends what you're watching on as well, doesn't it? Jennifer's here. Good morning. Good morning, Jennifer. Right, so let's press this hem. Again, talk amongst yourselves. Hopefully I won't be too long. It's not a giant hem. Just slippery fabric that doesn't want to stay where I'm putting it. Okay. Getting there. Sorry, again, the joys of watching someone iron on a live stream. bit done. So now I just need to turn it over and press it again. Then I will be able to stitch it down. Ooh, getting a facial from all the steam as well. Fun times. Okay, thank you for bearing with me. Hem is pressed. I'm going to use my blind hem foot to finish it off. So I'm going to have all the fabric on the wrong side of the sewing machine again. Again, I am purchasing a blind hem foot from the Festival of Quilts, probably from Frank Nutt while I am there. Oh, warm, very, very warm. Okay, let's catch up with chat. Let's see. Caroline said, audio's fine. Would have PM'd if there was an issue. Dad was a sound engineer for years. Ah, very cool. Jennifer says, just woke up, still trying to wake up. Well, good morning. Karen says, it's going to be fine. You're an excellent seamstress and we'll tackle the Dirndl beast. I love it. Thank you, Karen. I am determined to get to it this year. I really, really want to make that pattern. Karen says, Karen, Ebony sounds way more interesting. Debbie says, maxi dresses are great for summer. You stay cool and don't have to worry about how hairy your legs are. Yeah, that's another reason I want trousers. Seriously, that's another reason I want trousers. Caroline says, working, so typing cat-handed. So Caitlin says to Debbie, true. Karen says, cat-handed is going to be my personal list of awesome terms. Going into my personal list of awesome terms, yep. Cecile says to Karen, sneak the maxis out of the laundry and hem them and then tell them they shrunk. Christine says, not heard that term for ages. My mum used to say it a lot. Cecile says to Debbie, you just have to worry about your leg hair getting caught in the ITY knits when they stretch. Karen says, Cecile, if there weren't grown women that would totally work, instead I'll have to break into their houses. Christine says to Cecile, free leg wax. TY says, good morning from Syracuse, New York. Good morning. Jennifer says, we have both bastes with me today, Lucifer, Lionheart, and Penelope Wigglebottom. Hello, hello, lovely kitties. Right, let's get this hemmed, and then I get to do a buttonhole. It'll be fine, and I will put it in the right side. I have to check every time. I have to like mentally go, how do I wear these? I'm doing it again. I think it's the left side that I put the buttonhole in. Oh dear. Right, let's not get the ties in the way because we've been so careful about not sewing them into the wrong thing. So let's not start now. Okay. Okay. I think I'm standing on a tie. Yep. Fun times. Oh. Here we go. That's better. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do next is actually unpick my denim skirt. I think I'm going to start working on the Mopsy fun a bit later this evening. But yeah, I think unpicking the denim skirt is a good use of time whilst I'm sitting here chatting to you guys. And that way, once that one's done, I've only then got 2 alterations left to do. Which is very exciting. Great. Having a proper edge stitching foot's going to be really nice because then all the fabric will be on the right side and it will be fine. I mean, this works for me because I have, like, as I've mentioned before, there's a 12-inch throat space here, so you know this is not the most difficult thing to do. But most machines have 6 inches, so half this space. So I do appreciate that this is not the easiest thing to do. But most sewing machines do come with a blind hem foot included. Like an edge stitch foot tends to be an extra that you have to buy. I think this is another reason I love the Eve dress. Sorry, complete random tangent here, but that it's all machine finished and I don't have to hand sew anything. It's not that I dislike hand sewing. It's just, this is just lovely, not having to do that, not having to hand sew for him. Getting there, nearly finished. Okay, last little bit. Done. And I don't think I sewed anything into it that I shouldn't have, which is always nice. Okay. Okie dokie. So that one goes over that way and wraps around, so it is the left-hand side that needs the buttonhole in it. Every time. That needs pressing as well. So I'm going to go turn the iron back on. I'm going to go and grab some interfacing, tearaway interfacing. Which is in this cupboard by the door. Okay. is the interfacing I use for embroidery. So I'm just going to press the hem when the iron's warm, which might be a couple of minutes. No, it's ready now. Right, so I'm going to get the hem pressed, and then we can put the buttonhole in, and then we are done. Okay, hem is pressed. Now it is buttonhole time. And it does wrap over that way. So I put it in the hole in there because that goes underneath and through. Yeah, okay, so it goes in this side. Oh dear. Right, buttonhole time. Right, so I have put on that foot. I'm doing a buttonhole. It's going to be three-quarters of an inch. There we go. So that's good. I'm going to make that a little wider, make the stitching a little denser. Stabilizer. Okay. So buttonholes, 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 buttonholes. I put it on. Wrap that over the front. Just gonna grab the pattern just to double check, just to triple check. I mean, to be fair, it doesn't really matter, does it? But where am I leaving the gap? On the left-hand side, stitch the whole seam. Okay. No, so they want the buttonhole in the right-hand side. Okay, they in their instructions are saying the buttonhole is on the right-hand side. Yeah, that right. Yeah, because then the Right hand side goes over the top, the left hand side wraps over. So it's on the right hand side. I'm glad I checked. Okay. This is always the most nerve-wracking piece of doing this. So as I put this on, that is the right hand side. And I want to start the buttonhole there and go up. So I'm going to turn it this way. And again, do not sew dress ties into this bit of sewing because you will cry. So get those out of the way. Okay. Right, now I need to get this under the presser foot. And again, I'm going to, before I start sewing, I am going to double check that I have not got anything in here that should not be in here. Because again, ask me how I know. I want that, and I want this. Here we go. Okay, buttonhole's done. Okay, so tearaway stabilizer out of the way. Get rid of the threads. And same on the front, tearaway stabilizer out of the way. So I've sewn it on, so I've French seamed all of this. So I've sewn it into the, technically it's on the back portion of, this is the back bit of the dress, and the seam allowance has been pressed underneath that. So it's gone through the dress fabric and then 2 layers of the seam. So, and then like you saw, I used some tearaway stabilizer for in the here as well to help stabilize this particular part, because this is something you really don't want to rip. So it's just, again, I prefer this method for wrap dresses over leaving the side seam open and leaving a hole in it. But that is just my personal preference. It's definitely not something that you have to do. So I'm going to fray check both sides of my buttonhole. Kind of flooded that bit before I open it up. And then once this is dried, I'll then open it up and I'll try the dress on for you, because I don't want to try this on when this is still wet, because I don't want to get any fray check on the ties. So I'm going to leave that to dry over there. Then I can open that up. Let's see how we're doing with the chat. Let's see. And Karen said to Jennifer that they sound like bunny names, and Jennifer says to Karen, Lucy has been known to hop around the house. Karen says ours are Ralph Waldo Bunnison and Louise May Bunnycrot. Ah, so cute. And Jennifer says to Karen, Penelope's full name is Penelope Wigglebottom of the Hampton Wigglebottoms. Love it. And Karen says, I love it. Laurel says, now that I love hemming skirts with bias binding, I decided to try that on the hem of a pullover top I'm making. It turned out really well. Got to love some bias binding. Carol says, number 10 foot is the best. Yes, I'm looking forward to having one of my very own. Mimori says, I'm being lured outside by ice cream. Back in a bit. Very nice. So Caitlin says, today here, Dylan Thomas, like the Welsh poet, Lily Floction von Tosendorf, like Lily Flake of 1,000 Beautiful. Okay, they are some very awesome names. Daydream Believer says, the Eve dress, how is it fit wise? Do you need to size up or down? I've done a whole video on how my progress with the Eve dress and my review of it and what sizes I picked. I started with the size 14 according to their measurements, and I've ended up making a straight size 10. So yeah, I have a watch of that video if you have time. It's not a very long one, but I go into all the details about the Eve dress on that one. Johanna says, I have Kat Vader as my sewing assistant. Nice. Jennifer says, love all the great names. Definitely. Christine says, Sean, the width of bias binding do you use on the front of the Eve dress? Where's the little scrap? There it is, there it is. I think it's 25 millimeters. It's measuring 2 centimeters across unfolded, and it's 35 millimeters across unfolded. Jennifer says, there are 135 watching, but only 50 likes. Please remember to like the stream. Thank you, Jennifer. Susan says, good night all. Have a good weekend of sewing. Thank you, Susan, for joining us. Good night. And Jennifer says, good night to Susan as well. Cecile says, 51. I forgot to hit the like. Lol. Mary says, thanks for the reminder, Jennifer. Mary says, Jennifer says to Mary, you're welcome. Jennifer says, I have to go grocery shopping this morning before it rains. Trying to look at the forecast to make sure I have time. Mary says, happy Independence Day to all the American peeps. Definitely. Carol says, I can never figure if it is a look. Oh, hang on. I never can figure if it is a you look at it or as you wear it. I always get the garment ready to wear or a me made to check any instructions that mention right or left. Carol says, as you look. Yeah. Nicole says, right, left. What about the buttons on the dress you're wearing? Oh, yeah. Like, buttons are easy. But the illustration on the pattern envelope was giving me like, I was like, no, that's not how it, that doesn't, I can't remember. Alex says, thank you for lovely company, Shannon Peeps. I have to do some work, so bye-bye, have fun sewing. Sal, leave the mannequin alone. Alexandra says, you must have a great sense of achievement with all the garments you finish. I have so many quilts on the go, depending on the complications of the pattern and my mood. Garments are generally quicker. Oh, yeah. Jennifer says, I love making buttonholes. Julie says, hi, love. I'm home from work, ready to relax. Hi, Julie. Welcome. Jennifer says goodbye to Alex, and so does Julie. Mary says, have to say goodbye. Hope everyone has a great week ahead. Thank you for joining us, Mary. It was nice to see you. Jennifer has given me $10. Buy some fabric on me. Thank you very much, Jennifer. Serdan keeps coming over to listen. Hi, Serdan. How are you? Woof. Jennifer says goodbye to Mary. Christine says bye. Mary says bye, Jennifer. Julie says you're sweet, Jen. Cecilia says have a great week. Bye. The dressmaker's journey says good morning, peeps. Good morning. And Julie says, ooh, food. Oh, now you're making me hungry. Now you are making me hungry. Right. Do I do this? Do I start unpicking my denim skirt? I mean, it will stop me wearing it every day, so I suppose. Ooh. Getting the wheels of my chair on my dress. It's not good, is it? I think I am going to start unpicking this because I wear it so often. It would be really nice. So this was invisible when it went in. I mean, it's a really good color match, but you can see it's just, you know, there's a good sort of like 1/4 of an inch of gap there, and that was invisible when it went in. And this is not too tight for me. I can get both hands into this waistband as well as me, so it's not too tight for me. It is just clearly not the way to put to put zips into skirts. So, of course, I stitched in the ditch. Fun times. So I'm going to start unpicking it all. I mean, I'm not going to salvage this waistband, so it doesn't. This bit doesn't need to be beautiful. Doesn't really matter if I rip the fabric on the waistband like that. That's why I don't usually unpick this in this manner, because you rip the waistband. Never mind. Still got to come off, hasn't it? So I've started now. So I'm going to cut another waistband and sew it with the zip up to the waistband, and then put a hook and bar on to finish the waistband so that it behaves itself a lot better. Because, I mean, I always wear a belt with this, so it kind of hides it anyway. And again, if anyone's really getting that close to the back of my waist to kind of comment that my zip is gaping, then, you know, they're too close. But it's just something that's been bugging me. So I shall start doing it. And like I say, I've been in the mood to do alterations these last couple of days, which doesn't happen often. So you need to jump on that alteration mood when it happens. For sure. For sure, for sure. I need to get myself some different variations in zip lengths, because I have 9 inches, 16 inches, 22, and then like 2 26-inch zips. But I think I need something between the 16 and the 9-inch for skirts and trousers, because the 16 is way too long. I mean, I use them, but I have to shorten the zip when I do. And then the 9-inch is just too short, and everything has to go over my head when I'm getting dressed, which is really frustrating. It's nice to be able to step into your clothes. At least that's a preference of mine. Again, like personal preference, not a everyone should do it. I stitched in the ditch, and I've missed so many bits of this skirt that I've gone back in and hand stitched some of it afterwards. Maybe I should just hand stitch the next one. I mean, I can't reuse this waistband, which is why I'm not being remotely careful with this fabric. And I have ripped it a couple of times. So, yeah. Excuse me. Right. So does anyone else have to have like the alteration mood hit them for them to want to do all the little nitty gritty jobs that you have? Like seriously, it's the alteration mood strikes me maybe like once every couple of months, if that. Maybe twice a year. But I'm glad that it has, because I'm fixing things that I really love that I just don't wear because of little niggles. I mean, I wear this skirt all the time, and I probably really shouldn't be, because that zip is just so bad. But that's why I want to do this one, is because I want to wear this skirt and not have the zip be an issue. I'm also going to put different interfacing into the waistband of the next one that I make. I'm going to use a calico stiffener. It's just something that I've been doing recently with waistbands that I've been making for different garments, and I really like how the waistband comes out, because it's not too stiff, but it's better than other interfacings that I've been using, because I've been using Pellon SF101, and that's not great because it shrinks, and I haven't pre-shrunk any of the Pellon that I've used in any of my garments. So that's why I've kind of just switched over to putting like calico in, because it gives a nice amount of body without being really thick. In my opinion, that's just something that I've enjoyed using. Trying to do this in the least hassle way possible. Because I need the zip out, but I don't need to unpick all of the zip. I just need to unpick it so that I can get the waistband off the skirt. Carefully. There we go. It's one side. Okay. Oh, come on. Getting there. There we go. Trying not to stab myself with a seam ripper as well would be good. Okay, right. One side down. Didn't stab myself. Hopefully I haven't talked too often. Haven't talked too soon. Let's see. Sal says, I'll never leave the mannequin alone. Out of context, that could really be misconstrued. Dee says, bye everyone. Bye Dee. Thank you for joining us. Have a good week. That was from Jennifer as well. Francine says, good morning everyone. Here in the United States making a jean jacket for my daughter. Very nice. Jennifer says, ooh, what a lovely present to Francine. Francine says, thank you to Jennifer. Rinske says, I'm hardly ever in the alteration mood. Yep. Kathy says, later. Do not like alterations, so I put it off. Yep. Alison says, hello, Shine and Peeps. Greetings from Bendigo, where it's very cold at the moment, which is a good excuse to stay inside and sew. How is Chiana today? She's not too good. She's better than she was. I talked about this at the beginning of the stream. I took her to the vets on Tuesday because she had been sick a lot in the night and then was constipated. Then she's got cystitis. She stopped eating. I have spent a lot of money at the vets. All of my quilt show spending money has gone in on vet bills. And she's on lots of medication. She's had her tummy shaved and she's had her neck shaved to take blood. She's just not eating. She seems fairly happy, and you know, she's a bit more subdued than usual, but she seems like happy in herself. She's not obviously in pain. She is on pain medication, but she's just not eating, which is not like her, which is weird. But then the vet, you know, she is overweight, so the vet was just saying, you know, she could stand to lose a few pounds. So yeah, how are Binks and Maya? I hope they're better than she is. Kate E says, definitely only occasional thing for alteration mood to strike. Yep. Francine says, I hate alterations. Jojo says, I hate alterations with a passion. I have an entire basket full looming at me, trying to shame me. I'm ignoring it entirely as to sew new things. Excellent. Sibs and Family says, my best ever clothes designer was Givenchy. Who's yours? And everyone else, who is your best clothes designer? I have lots that I like. I think Dior. The new look that Dior did, Christian Dior. Yeah. I also very much like Halston. But yeah, I think Dior. Hide and Silk says, I don't enjoy alterations, but I hate ill-fitting garments and waste even more. There is something satisfying in rescuing a garment. Very true. Jojo says, Sean, you've made the So La Di Da vintage Margot extravaganza, haven't you? I'm sure I remember it from your earlier vlogs. How was fitting on that? Do you remember? I have only made the So La Di Da sweetheart dress. I have all the So La Di Da patterns. I've only made the sweetheart dress. So I'm sorry, I can't help with that one. And Julie says, well, cornflakes with milk, still food. TY says, Age of Fabulous, lots of laughing emojis. Francine says, don't have a favourite designer as long as clothes fit me well and look good on me. Cecile says, oh, Sean, can't you just wear your top over the zipper? So much easier than ripping it out. Yes, but this has really been bugging me and I want to change it. So, yes, totally. But, you know, I've started now, so. And Skay says, sorry to hear that. Julie says, well, Sal, now we can't see how far you move the mannequin. Sandra says, I prefer to sew new garment than making alterations. I have some pants to repair for my husband, but still haven't found the motivation to work on them. Julie says, poor Chi. And Jojo says she adores Alexander McQueen. Oh, yeah. Especially some of the fabrics they used. And Laurel says, poor Kitty. Yeah, poor Chiana's not very well at the moment, bless her. So need to get her feeling better as soon as possible. Okay. Like I said, she's got pain meds and antibiotics. It's just the stopping eating thing that's weirding me out. And as I said to you guys, some of the peeps that were here earlier, the vet came back to me and said, she's such a lovely, well-behaved girl. It was like, I think you've got the wrong cat. Yeah, she's not a well little thing, but fingers crossed all the meds will get her on the mend. I totally don't need to do this on this. The zip is working fine, and you know the color match is great with the actual fabric, so it's not overly noticeable, but it's just something that really bugs me. I hate it when invisible zips do like kind of split thing, especially when the garment fits me and it's not too tight. There's no reason for it to do that other than the kind of bulk of all the seam allowance at the waistband that it has to go through, because it's got the fabric from the waistband and the skirt and then the seam allowances from both as well. So I think that's why it does that thing, because it's just way more fabric so to go past. But again, I am no expert, so I could be talking utter nonsense when I say that. And there's a much more practical reason for the zip doing that at the waistband, but it bugs me, and it bugs me enough that I'm going to alter it, which is unusual, but I am in the mood. Like unpicking the zip on the 5851, I think that's the right number, the butterick dress that I did yesterday. Oh, that took forever. But I'm so glad that I did it, because the dress looks exactly the same, but I can get in and out of it so much easier without damaging the fabric, which I had done. I'd ripped a little hole in the stitches had pulled the viscose fabric at the back, so I put some lightweight interfacing in there, and then fray checked it, because it looks fine. Like, again, if anyone ever notices that there's a slightly frayed centimetre of fabric at the bottom end of the zip, they're looking far too closely at my butt. So yeah, but I'm really glad that I fixed it, because I love that silhouette on me, and putting it on, it was just like, yeah, I definitely want to make this again. And there is a sew along for that dress. Again, I don't no idea if I've got the number right. And technically it's not actually a vintage dress, but to me it looks really vintage. And if I don't show you guys what it is, you're not going to know, are you? So let's see if I can find it. It should be in my vintage patterns. Okay. 5951. This one. And I made it in the red fabric that I got from Lamazi, and I love it. So I did this bodice with this skirt, and yeah, I already picked out fabric from my stash for the next one, and I'd ordered 3 26-inch long zippers. So I've got zips to do at least 2 more. All right. Okay. Okay. I can't tell if it's raining outside or just windy. I think it's just windy. It's really overcast and grey here today, which is sad. Oh, itchy nose. Oh, I always unpick, and I hate unpicking the back stitching. Do not want to create a hole. There we go. Done. Okay, so that's one side of the zip done. Oh, I've got itchy nose. Okay, let's see. Where did we get to? Julie says to Sibs and me, Sibs and family, my favourite designer, me is my favourite designer. I love that. Jojo says, Well, you can hurry up and make Margot so I can copy your homework. Actually, yeah, Margot's the jumpsuit, isn't it? Maybe I should have a look at that. Oh. Alison says to Sibs and Family, I attended the Mary Quant exhibit here in Bendigo last Friday and loved it. So although I love all designers, I just adore Mary Quant. Cecile says, I must have bumped the feed when I was checking emails. I missed about 20 minutes of the conversation. That's why the zip message came when you were well on your way with it. Oh, lol, right, okay. Renske says, my cat was ill last year, and this year everything looks so much brighter. So I hope it'll be the same for yours. Thank you. And I hope yours is much better. Jojo says, oh, yes, to Alison, I adore Quant too. Alison says to Jojo, I am now on the lookout for Mary Quant sewing patterns, and I would love a Mary Quant handbag and maybe a dress. I have some on Etsy. So Caitlin says, so what's the plan on the alteration? So I'm going to put the zip up to the waistband, and then I'm just going to make the waistband longer so that it will fasten with a hook and eye over the top. Sibs and Family says, we'll have to look up Mary Quant. Don't know her. Ooh, McQueen is good too. Jojo says to Alison, have you seen the free Mary Quant patterns from Alice & Co. via the V&A Museum? Cecile says, have to go. Okay, have to run. Hubs went out with Manchild to go fishing, so best get working on that dress before my free time runs out. Have a wonderful day, Peeps. Thank you for joining us, Cecile. Caroline says, it's raining here in Guildford. Nimue says, back again. The weather turned out lovely. Not all the rain and thunderstorms the forecast threatened. That's good. Julie says, it's sunny here with a dusting of clouds. Sibs and Family says, raining here for Halifax too. Alison says, flat back to Jojo, yes, I have. It's been downloaded onto my computer. Sandra says, it's also raining in France. Marta says to Nimue, lucky Basil, I know I've said that wrong, is raining and stormy today. Alison says to Jojo, I would love to read the autobiography of Mary Quant too. So Caitlin says, bright sunshine here right at the Baltic Sea. And TY says, I love that dress you're wearing, absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much. It's the Vogue 9345. My fray check is nearly dry. I'm going to open my buttonhole, try this dress on, and then I'll continue with the unpicking. How are we doing for time? Not doing too badly. So carefully open up my buttonhole. There we go. It's done. Right. I'm going to go and try this on off camera. I will come back and show you in a second, as long as it fits. Bloody hope it does. 2 seconds. Talk amongst yourselves. I mean, I haven't tried this on as I've been making it because it is one of my tried and true patterns. So technically it should fit. All the other ones do. And I have worn them recently, so it's not like I haven't been wearing them. So I haven't checked the fit on them. So yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We shall see. Sure, it will be fine. Ugh. Okay. So much fabric in the ties and then the maxi dress and just trying to corral all the stuff all together. I did put the tie, the buttonhole in the right side. Always good. It fits. I mean, it would have been a weird anomaly if it hadn't fit. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Oh, Yay! I mean, I know I am not remotely original using this print with this pattern. I think there's at least 5 or 6 other people that have done it, that have put it out on the internet. So, I mean, I know I am not remotely original, but oh, I do love an Eve dress. Oh, I'm so happy. So happy. And like I say, with wrap dresses, with this particular wrap dress, I mean, there is a little bit of pulling here, but that's because I'm about a stone heavier than I usually am when I wear it. But again, because it's a print, I think I get away with it. So yeah, I can see everyone saying nice things, so thank you very much. Let's see. Let's see, where did I get to? Hide and Sook says warm but overcast here in the south of France. Julie says amongst ourselves. Carol says move the mannequin. Julie says to Carol, move. Carolyn says the only alteration I like is taking something in that is too big. It doesn't happen often as things turning up too small. Yes. Sal says the ASMR section of the hangout with sounds of Sean changing. Yeah. Nimue says it turned out lovely. So Laurel says lovely. Jennifer says gorgeous. So Caitlin says lovely dress. Louise says looks good on you. Renske says lovely. Marta says gorgeous dress. Julie says beautiful. Lottie says, oh, that colour really suits you. Thank you. Thank you to everybody. I'm sorry, I'm not just ignoring you all. Thank you. Sibs and family, bless you for sneezing, Sean. Thank you. Eileen says it's lovely. Lottie says really love it. Kathy says so pretty. Jojo says gorgeous. Fiona says gorgeous fabric. Jane says beautiful. Nimue says I love that shade of blue. Kate E says looks gorgeous. You tempt me to get this. You tempt me to get this stern every time I see you make one. Rezgay says love the fabric too. So Caitlin says, has anyone tried the Aura wrap dress from Paper Cut? Oh no. Katie says pattern, not stern. I did think that was what you meant. TY says beautiful, very beautiful. Antique says beautiful. Cecilia says looks so pretty, so worth all the work. Sibs and family says lovely, so nice. The dress has a nice print. Una says hello, just joined. Are you wrapping up? Not quite yet, Una. I've got a little bit. Oh, actually, we've been going for nearly 4 hours, and I have now finished something. And then the other thing I was going to do was unpick the rest of the skirt. So it might be a good point to wrap up, mightn't it? Karen says the colour looks good on you. And Una says, oh, good. Sorry. And then I changed my mind. Yeah, I like this colour on me, actually. And it looks quite good with the new hair colour, doesn't it? And it's just so pretty. It's so pretty. I just love the Eve dress. I really do love the Eve dress. But yeah, there's a little bit of pulling here. I think that's because I've pulled the dress quite tight. But again, you know what? In the print, it's I kind of get away with it, don't I? So yeah, it's really pretty. I like it a lot. So yeah, actually we've been going for 4 hours, and the rest, all I'm going to do now is just unpick the rest of this. So that's not overly interesting, is it? So I think we will call it a day for now. So thank you guys for coming in and hanging out with me and letting me spend 3 hours finishing something that really probably should have taken me about 45 minutes. But I very much like being distracted by you all, so thank you for doing that. And yeah, it's been fun. It's definitely been fun. I'm very much enjoying the hangouts, and glad that we can get them up and running again in here. So yeah, it's good. So I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you all next Sunday for next Sunday's hangout. And I have zero idea what we'll be doing then. And hopefully I'll have some new projects cut out and ready to go for you guys. Because what I've got left in that pile is a shirt, a hunter tank, the 9345 goldfish dress, and a camisole that I cut out over a year ago and really ought to get sewn up. So those shouldn't take me too long. So I should be on my second round of cutting out for this month. So who knows what's going to be next? Hopefully, maybe not more Eves. I'll try and behave myself. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us, and I will see you all next week. So bye.